alive. It's just me. Oh, and Blue. Blue's just come in. G'day, Blue. He's connecting. I'll give him a moment. Hey, Blue. It's just you and me. All our own. And everybody else must be off, getting ready to listen to the great debate. Hey, True Test, how you going? Oh, here's Farmers. Can I hear him? Can you hear me? Hasn't said anything yet. But can you hear me? No, you can't hear me. Yes, you can hear me. I can't hear you. Ah, that makes it awkward. Now, why can't I hear you? Ah, there you go. You know what might work for a start? Turning my headphones on. Yeah, I can see that being advantageous in this case. I don't know if they can hear you out in the stream because I can't tell. Come on, headphones, kick in.
No.
Oh, now I can hear.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Yes.
Cool. That's a quantum leap over not hearing.
Yes, I was sitting there thinking, oh, these noise cancelling headphones are doing really well. I can't hear a thing.
That's like everything. Oh, Jesus.
It was just like,
Could you have turned them on?
Try plugging them in. That usually helps.
I was having this light bulb moment that, it's actually like, you know, when you hear the microphones, you can tell they're on. And then after a while, you realise that they're not on. It's like, actually, no, I'm not getting absolutely anything. It's not working. Okay, good. So we're up and running, sort of. I can tell you it is not a good week for Flat Earth. He goes through my set list to try to work out things to put on for the show. Unless we could have a Lindsay marathon, because like Lindsay's put up like 15 videos. Probably not.
He's banged out a few, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I reckon most of them are actually old ones. He's just popped up again.
Oh, I didn't actually look at them because, you know,
they're Lindsay.
Why would you willingly do
that? Oh, I think he's
did. Who is it? Mr. 42. He has bots set up in his Discord
Yeah, that's
server.
where I get most of mine from.
That's why I go to Grebulons and just look at, you know, who's posted what, and yeah, Lindsay's put up quite a few, but I don't click on them.
Nah.
Jesus, it's Lindsay.
Exactly. Yes,
that's right. I was looking at it. It's a bit sad when you can look at it and say, "Oh, I think I've seen that video before."
I only watch Lindsay because you a-holes make me do
it.
Well, he's out there.
And we watch them very attentively because we're waiting for that last word on the bingo card.
Well, I think it can make
stop the damn thing.
If you watch Lindsay bingo, makes it work. It gives it some meaning. There's not much other meaning in there.
Well, and of course, before when Lindsay started, it's like, oh, time to go make a cup of tea. But you don't want to do that now. You want to listen to his every word because you're sitting there going,
"Come on,
just say
tropical gap."
Just say tropical gap. Yay, bingo!
Morning, chaps.
Morning, Alan. How's it going? Yes.
Apologies for tardiness.
That's okay. I didn't put up the link until like 10 minutes before time.
I couldn't see the link, and then I saw you was in Gems, and I thought, well, the chances are he's going to do a stream. So then when I said, "Is there a stream?" Bing, it appeared.
I was sitting in Gems thinking, Oh yeah. Got to do a stream tonight. Yeah, mate. Yeah, go out, get ready. And I looked out at the time, and it's like 20 minutes to 9. And I start at 9 my time. I'm thinking, maybe I better jump out of here and go get organised because I hadn't,
Yeah.
hadn't put up the link or anything. Could have just been like, no.
Well, see, because I kept looking, I thought I don't remember him saying last week that he wasn't going to do a stream. And I
No.
thought he's usually put up one by now. So I thought, right, I go and look in Gems. Is he about? Yes, he's about. Okay. There's a fair chance that he is streaming today, but
Yeah.
Morning.
That's it. Morning, Matt. How are you?
morning.
The only reason why I'm here is because I saw a message. You said you didn't have anybody to talk to, but it looks like you do have somebody to talk to. So I'm off. See ya. Bye. No, I'm
Bye.
joking. I'm only joking.
Who am I going to talk over? Who am I going to talk over if you're not here, Matt?
Oh no, exactly. Yeah. So I've got my uses.
Yeah.
I better keep my things to like short sentences then, so you can't talk over me.
Sure. I just got to wait for you to start and get my timing just spot on.
So you can play that game, you know. You got to do most of the talking.
Yeah, I know. Try and keep it moving. That's a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and try not to let things fall apart. Yes. I think I'm trying to work out where else do people go apart from Gem's Discord. They're not on these sort of things because they used to be wherever all the non-flat earthers are, and a lot of people you don't really want to associate.
Well,
with
the
anyway.
other one is what's it called? Medicinal mass media.
Yeah, I'd drop in there, but I think my timing's wrong for that one because when I go in there, it's
It
only
could be
people like
because
Blood
it's-
Tech, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to listen to Blood Tech.
Yeah, it
I
depends.
think
Depends who's
it's
on.
more of our an American time zone. I mean, I look in there now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 people in there, 4 of which are muted, 1 of which is server muted because it's demo. That will pick up later on. I think it's more of a sort of UK US time zoned
Yeah,
sort of place. Stingray's in there all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, he's in there a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another guy,
Yeah,
Hook. Go on.
I was going to say, it seems to get busy in there sort of early evening, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think on most of the moderators there, I think they're mostly British, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, well, Big
Well,
Blue's the moderator, and Archie Blue. In there.
I know he is. Yeah. I know.
And Alan, are you a mod, Al? Because I see you in there a bit.
No, I'm not a mod. I'm not in there enough.
There he is.
There he is, yeah.
I just look. Oh, and Whitsit. Christ.
So it appears to be the place to be is either one or the other, but there's hardly anyone on in there. And Gems is a bit of a mix of complete useless chat for a while, and then someone will pop in, and you'll argue over something.
It's the
totally
same
useless.
stupid people though, James. That's the thing.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
Well, the
yeah, it
hardest-
really is. It's,
The hardest thing, Gem, is that you try and you get a conversation going, and then you get some drunk globe person talk over the top of you, or derail the conversation, or yeah. Yes.
If you're really lucky, Mabbit, Jen, and Democ will all show up.
At the same time, yes.
one go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh Jesus, that's chaos.
Not entirely sure how the universe copes with that. Seems to
no.
how.
There'll be a disturbance in the force when those three get together. That's for sure.
I was going to say, probably generates multiple multiple plant pots full of geraniums.
Oh no, not again. Yeah.
Yes, Jin was in there the other day, and I was like, oh, actually, he's in there quite often lately. I often just tune out.
Jen's
because
always in there.
Yeah, it's just
Which one? Who? What? The medical mass media?
no. Jin's in Gems.
And
Oh, Jen's and Gems right now, is he?
yeah.
No, not now, but he does go in there. I think.
Oh yeah. I know it does. Yeah.
It seems like they all drop down to Gems when there's nothing going on in Triple M. So.
Yeah.
Jim was the other day. He came in and he wanted to start talking about hypergolic fuels, and
Yeah,
immediately
yeah.
the first sentence he got completely wrong.
Oh, yes. I didn't
He
start.
mentioned two things that he thought were hypergolic fuels. One of them he got right, and then he mentioned liquid oxygen. So I piped up and said, "Well, hang on a minute. Liquid oxygen is not a hypergolic fuel." And of course, you're talking rubbish. He's going, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. He's saying you're rubbish. And he went on backwards and forwards for a little while. And eventually, after a while, he disappeared because he lost connection. Then he came back and denied that he said it. You lying little bastard.
Because it's going up onto Google to check out his answer.
I'm going to say, and there's me thinking, you use hypergolics because you don't want to take a big tank of locks with you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to try and get explained, but so many people wanted to talk, I didn't really get a chance to sort of to talk about it. Really, to be honest with you,
We want you to sit in this really small rocket interceptor, and don't worry, the fuel tanks are all around you, and they do have a nasty habit of just combusting, but you'll be fine. Oh, and by the way, that fuel will eat through your clothing and you haven't got a carriage to land on, just a skid.
But I hope you have actually used all that fuel.
Yes, every last drop, because if there's just a little bit sloshing around, good luck.
It's not about having to carry locks with you. It's about not having to ignite it.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the beauty of it. You don't need any sort of igniter for hypergolic fuel. So
No,
that's why
Just throw these two fuels together and
Boom. Oh, no, that's not the right word you use when you're sitting on top of them, is it?
Hence why they didn't. Hence why they used it on the limb.
yeah, hydrazine and
No, that's
nitrogen tetroxide
That's right.
explode on contact.
Yes.
Explode or deflagrate?
Saturday morning.
Wouldn't they have some expression like sudden compulsive projectile motion? Massive cavill, that sort of thing.
Pretty instantaneous, yeah. The chemical reaction takes place with no further action required. Just mix it. That's essentially what the Germans used in that Comet rocket plane of theirs.
Yeah.
T-Stoff, as they called it. High test peroxide. Just don't ask the Russians about high test peroxide in torpedoes.
Oh yeah. Boom.
What water and peroxide didn't work?
You mixed T-Stoff and C-Stoff, which was methanol, hydrazine, water. And when you mixed the two together, whoosh. But
sounds like it would make a great torpedo fuel.
Yeah. Not while it's in your own submarine though. It's not healthy.
Yeah, I thought that was more a case of don't light big fires in submarines rather than it just exploding.
The only fires that they like to light, well, not light, but have to light in submarines are oxygen candles. And when you're down to that stage, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, not where you want to be. Yes. I think
but it's nasty stuff. The Germans did at the time. There is a classic black and white video. I think they got just some workman's overalls and they just put a couple of drips of, I don't know whether it was the T or the C, I can't remember which, but they just put a couple of drops onto these overalls and it just went. And yeah, the pilot of the Comet, the fuel tanks extended into the cockpit. He was basically sat in a tub, which was part of the fuel tank.
Oh, okay.
Not fun.
Yeah, it was so small. It was so compact. It was just, and I mean, there was only enough fuel for a few minutes worth of flight. And what they would do is they wouldn't just light the rocket and just let it burn. They'd do it in pulses. So they'd get up to altitude, and the idea was that you could keep turning the rocket on and off to give you more speed as you're attacking the bombers. But they reckon you had enough, you had powered flight for 8 minutes.
Right.
Not long.
No.
Yeah. and then because it took off on an undercarriage, it had 2 wheels at the front, but that dropped off as you took off. It was like a dolly, and that dolly dropped away, and you just had a skid that would drop down, and that's what you landed on. But you wanted a nice smooth landing because if there's any fuel left in the tanks, it was liable to explode. Just incredibly stupid and dangerous. But you'd got a rocket plane that could do, nearly break the speed of sound, and you just basically went up, fired your 2 machine cannon at a B-17 or a clutch of B-17s and come back down again. They're almost manned missiles. But apparently too quick for the dorsal turret of a B-17 to track. They couldn't keep up with it.
Yes. So none of you are nicky enough to watch the Great Debate together, whenever that is. They're looking at me
Which
funny.
one was that?
Yeah, funny. Between
Was
Pastor.
that Crag?
No,
Good old Crag and Kane.
No, I didn't watch. No, I didn't watch that one. No, I thought about that in a sec. No, the flat Earth pastor versus the non-flat Earth pastor.
Why would I want to watch that?
They're going to solve the whole thing about whether the Bible is flat or not.
Who gives a toss about the Bible?
Yeah, it's a big thing, but yeah, I'm not going to watch it. I know what both sides are going to say. The church on the flat Earth side is the one that Earth's fairly heavily. Well, I don't know how heavily involved he is, but he has some involvement with those people. You look on their website, it's all flat Earth type propaganda type stuff. So, yes, because it's all apparently this pastor got in trouble by saying the Earth is not flat. Right? He's not a very nice person anyway, but it's one thing he actually did get right. Doesn't believe in creation or anything, but the flat Earth, the Earth is not flat. And apparently that upset all these other Christian pastors, and so they're all going to have a big shouty debate.
What? Because they think the Earth is flat and presumably young as well.
Yes, yeah. Well, generally go together. So I don't know.
And yet, MC Toon put out a video the other day saying, "Does the Bible say the Earth is flat?"
No.
That's
all he really did to do. Tell us.
Because there's so many people say, but the Bible tells us that the Earth is flat. Well, no, it doesn't.
Show me where.
Not even in the KJV, is it?
No.
And it's interesting when he shows a particular passage and then he shows all the different translations, all the different versions, and it's just like, and really, this is the word of God, is it?
Yeah.
Which one? Which
one?
version? Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, when you're talking things scientific, and somebody brings in the Bible,
well, it's like
conversation stops there.
Well, there's like a few of them that won't use pi unless pi is 3 because of that one verse that they measured the circumference of a big thing and measured across, it happened to be 3, and so therefore, not that it mentions pi at all, just happens to measure what they measured. And they say, well, the Bible says that's 3, not 3.14. So therefore, pi must be 3.
It's 3 and a bit. Let's round it down to 3. It's easier.
You can't.
The inerrant word of God.
Yeah, if you're going to be Bible literaticism, there's a lot of stuff you got to get, even as a Christian, you got to get over, because there's a lot of contradictions in there, and things that you just wouldn't do.
Yep.
Even the first two even the first 2 chapters contradict each other.
But let's face it, mostly pi equals 3 is pretty close, pretty good.
Not far off, is it?
Well, depends.
Yeah,
what
for a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Depends what you're doing. I couldn't get away with pi equals 3.
No, in most cases you want some a fair degree of accuracy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just saying, well, 3, it's close enough.
Yeah, at the end of a end of a 3,000 meter radius.
Oh yeah, we're talking about small, very small numbers though.
I've heard it suggested somewhere that pi equals e equals 2.
Okay.
Is a close enough estimation.
I wouldn't get that.
I was sold at school that you could use 22/7.
Yeah.
That's close enough for almost everything that you're likely to use it for. G'day, Judy. How's it going? Hey, Dr. Nimrod. Yeah.
Oh, can I just say thank you, Judy? I meant to thank you a while ago. You know what I mean. Thank you very much.
Good.
Don't put the heating on permanent.
Heating. we had the aircon on today,
Yeah.
mate.
I've just put my heating on as well, just 5 minutes ago again. It's freezing.
I had snow last night.
Oh, did you? I heard it was snowing in various parts of England. Yeah. All right. Okay.
In fact, the house opposite must have really, really good loft insulation because there's still signs of snow on their roof tiles.
That's how you tell. That's how you tell who's got good loft insulation.
Well,
okay,
yeah. Mind you, it's also how they find the people with, let's say, growing things in their attics.
Those really big internal herb gardens.
Yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
They're not. That's not cannabis hops, herbs.
Yeah.
Just very strong smelling herbs.
It's just really cold here today, and my heating was set to go off at 10 o'clock, and that's only 20 minutes ago. And it's like, feels cold in here already.
Yep.
No, heating's now on continuous. Bollocks to that.
I had to put the heating on Wednesday. I really hate that because it's 40 quid a week at least to have the heating on.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
because I've got really, really crappy 20-year-old storage heaters.
20 years old, yeah, they should have been changed at least 5 years ago.
Yeah. Do they have big uptake of solar power over that way, up your way?
Mum and Dad have got it.
Yeah, Tony next door's got solar water heating on his roof.
Yeah. We had that. That was the big thing. That was the big thing for a while. Yeah, that was a big thing for a while, but now everyone has solar panels on the roof. It's very common. What about you, Blue? In your bay, the neck of the woods, is solar power taking off?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Sure.
We got plenty of coal. We ain't worried about it.
Okay, we got plenty of coal too, but I think that too much of trying to sell it to you guys.
We have got acres and acres of PV arrays, particularly in this area. It's quite a big thing around here. You'll see sort of 20 to 40 acre fields just covered in these panels. But what are technically solar panels, as what Alan was saying, for heating up your water. It was a fad a while ago. I don't know how common it is here now. It just doesn't seem to be a thing that's getting pushed. It all seems to be with they're worried about generating electricity, not necessarily just cutting back your bills and saying, well, look, these panels will heat you. If you've got a cylinder, I mean, I haven't got a hot water cylinder because I'm a combi boiler. If you've got a hot water cylinder, that you can obviously use solar panels to keep that warm and keep it ticking over, and it cuts your bills down. But all they seem to be worried about is what people call solar panels, which are actually PV arrays.
Yeah.
For generating electricity. That's all they seem to be worried about over here these days. That and heat pumps.
G'day, Paul. How's it going?
Yeah, good. Sorry I'm late.
That's
I was
all right.
stuck down at the old folks' home playing Christmas carols.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, nice.
Doing your bit for the community.
Yeah. Exactly.
No,
Here's
well,
another Christmas carol, classic Christmas one. You'll sing along. It's called Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your favourite Christmas
Yeah,
carol, Paul, to play?
Oh, God, I like Carol of the Bells.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favourite's Tim Mitchell's White Wine in the Sun, I think. But some might argue that's not a Christmas carol.
Quite fond of Kevin Wilson's one.
Kevin Wilson one?
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, don't know about that one.
we
I don't play that around here.
Santa Claus
we
is
have
see you
to-
next Tuesday.
That's the one.
Where's me bike?
I've got all this other
We-
shit
we-
here and nothing that I like.
Like,
we had the annual Christmas entertainment at the village hall last night. Various people doing their bits. We
Yeah.
did have Paul the post. We did have Paul the postie. He is actually a postman, playing his accordion and doing a bit of singing. But he didn't sing "Hey, you got a light, boy."
there you go.
But we did have somebody else sing it.
Oh, that's all right. As long as somebody did it. Oh dear, that song in a Norfolk accent is just superb.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Well, the bloke who did it has got a proper Norfolk accent, and he's 93 years old. So he'd do it right.
Proper.
proper.
Are you
job.
right, my old booty?
You're right, boy.
Hey, you got a light, boy. Hey, you
You're
got a
right,
light.
boy.
Oh dear. Oh,
Well-
we're getting back up to heat.
Speaking of Lindsay.
Yes, touring test two. Alan Smethurst.
Alan Smethurst.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
He was the singing postman.
Yes.
That's so good.
Uh,
Okay, we need to do Lindsay because that's what we do.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know whether "need" is the right word.
It's just what we do.
Quiet.
habit forming, you know. Yeah. Let me just
For
see.
those with masochistic tendencies, here's Lindsay.
Well, that's what I
Go on.
said. I was very tempted to have a Lindsay marathon since he'd posted so many, but
I won't do the bingo because I'm gonna have to keep sort of like hopping on and hopping off again and backwards
Yeah,
and
right.
forwards because I'm doing the laundry and a few other things at the same time.
I'll do a bingo card for you. How's that? So
Oh, you do one for me. Yeah, I'll do.
yeah. So I've just done that one. What have you got? Oh, that's okay. There's no Kundalini in there that I can see. So you're doing okay. There you go.
Well, after that, the other week where your card for me only had 2 words and I got bingo.
Yeah. Well, there you
What's a
go.
Kundalini? I can't remember what the other one was.
It was Tropical Gap.
That's it. Yeah.
That was the 2 words. I put.
Of course, you're going to post the link, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm just
Timbo.
making sure I wasn't
look like
posting the my bingo cards. that would be another trick, is to give you all the same bingo card. I could do that. Let me just post this out for the. Oops. So that should get you to the generate page. And I'll post that out to the fans.
Let's have my traditional 2 cards.
Dang, I got
Peanuts.
Kundalini. Oh well, never
Oh,
mind.
well. You know what most people do, Alan? Just generate again. Do you get a card you're happy with? This is on true physics behind flat Earth astronomy. Which
Roughly translated, here's some old shit I just made up.
as I went along. Yes, that's right. Okay, I'll give you Matt's card. Matt's card together so I can keep track.
That one's
Okay.
got Kundalini. That one hasn't. Oh, good.
I got 2 cards. One is Matt's and one's mine. Whichever one gets bingo is mine.
I've got 2 cards and they're both mine.
No, Matt's is the one that
Well,
doesn't.
tell me if I've got bingo, and then I'll shout bingo.
Okay, I'll do that. I can tell which one is mine because it's got Kundalini and yours doesn't. So there you go.
Oh, okay. I can live without that.
Okay, let's get started. Let's put him on Lindsay's bead. I'll get going.
That's it. Big in it. There we go.
Hi there, welcome.
How about I make it see? Oh, you guys can see. Sorry, I thought I hadn't switched you over. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, no, we've got
To the
it.
Tomb
Can
of
they see it out
Illumination.
there?
Today's video is about astronomy. Flat Earth astronomy. Now you can go and compare this with your silly globe if you're inclined to believe the spinning ball bullshit. Now there's heaps of information in this, so you might want to hang in there to the end because you're going to learn a lot. All sorts. You can go and compare it with the globe, okay?
I doubt
big
it.
Stuff in there, work across, shall I? First of all, we have to understand the flat Earth model. There it is right there. I've drawn this. This is a particular time of the season where this is up. There's a separation in here. You want to check out my earlier videos if you want to understand all this. But this is more of the shape that takes place here, you see. It's the ecliptic plane, what it does over a year. This is down and out,
Ecliptic already.
right down out to Capricorn here, all the way around the south. It's like a jellyfish. The whole thing goes down and then back up to Cancer. This is where we have goat the Capricorn down here, wider. The southern hemisphere is a lot wider and bigger. Centre north, up and in. There's up and in, there's Cancer, right? There's your, what have we got there? Oh, there's the crab, you see? The crab. But it's not just the fact that it crawls sideways up here at the solstice, but also the cardioid. See the cycles I've shown you before? You've been following me? The stars do this. They come out of the south, swing right round over your horizon, head west, but they actually swing right back into there. That's on every man's meridian. That's what he sees in his image, in his arc of horizon. If you're over here, you'll see the same thing.
Yeah.
The stars come out of the south, swing around like this. Well, in the north, they do the same thing. They swing out, go west, and in his arc of horizon, swing around back into there. Okay? He only sees half at a time. You've got day side and night side. Can't see two at once. So no one's ever shown this before. You will never
Because it
know
doesn't
that.
exist.
There's the
But
sun,
okay.
you see. The sun's, they've drawn the sun in the centre there. Sometimes they, this might have something to do with the bull's head and the horns with the sun in the middle in the Egyptian depictions. Therefore, if the sun's in the middle, then the black hole's behind it. But the way we draw it properly is there's the black hole and there's the sun on its horizon. That's the head, there's the body, and that sun moves around the horizon. Okay? Science doesn't tell you that one either.
Wonder why.
There you go.
Mm.
And what we have down in here shines up here at night and shows us all the northern hemisphere stars. But because the magnetic field of Earth comes down in the south, it creates a parabolic image. This image, because there is only one main place of creation, that's in there. So everything in there is here, but that gets cast down into there.
Use your words.
Goes
Use your words,
swings down
Lindsay.
into there like that. Now you see it inverted. The inverted image, a parabolic image, is cast back to the viewer, right there on this horizon. You can't get to it because as you move towards it, it keeps moving further away. It's holographic projection into the moisture-filled atmosphere. Okay, moving along. Why is Leo the lion so prominent in ancient stories?
He's not.
Because it represents the beginning of spring. All religious stories, all philosophy is about the beginning of the
Wait.
September spring.
Which ancient
Not the March spring.
stories?
It's all about September. Why
MGM,
September?
maybe.
Well,
Yeah,
it's because
doesn't
Here's
feature
the sun's
very
in a
much,
lemma, right?
to be honest.
we've become a split cell. That's the first kingdom. Well, I always get this confused actually. First kingdom, second kingdom. So, this must be the first kingdom. But sometimes I say this is the first kingdom because it's moved out from the centre north. There's two ways to look at it. This is the original in here, and this is the came about later in the split cell. You see, started from there, split off, and created the southern hemisphere. So our philosophy and religious stories are all about the second hemisphere, the south. That's why I see it, from what I understand in the books. And it's coming down the right-hand side, coming down this way. That's the September spring coming down the sun's analemma. Cast the fish on the right-hand side. It could mean that, or it means, you know, you're over here in Virgo, but the fishes are over here on the right-hand side. Okay, in Pisces. Because the whole divine story is about the awakening in early September, spiritual enlightenment. And where's the moon? It's over here at that particular time. The divine story of Jesus, etc., and all the kings actually. You got that? Beginning of spring, September. Now, as for the kings, maybe, but the average man who's not will not be a king. We can't all be kings.
Spring is king, apparently.
They will be affected either here or there. This March, spring, or
there,
the southern
or
spring.
anywhere else.
But not in a divine way like the kings are awoken through the solar eclipses, and there's a lot to it. There's a heck of a lot to it. Solar eclipse. Got the solar eclipse here in the Jesus story, 29 degrees Leo, and then the sun races around after 17 days, ends up somewhere here in Virgo.
Behind you again.
17 days later, I think it was, and the full moon is in Pisces over here. So spiritual enlightenment, your second birth, always concerns the full moon. The full moon and the moon sign that you were conceived in. Okay? Now, why do we say constellations go backwards? Because if the sun is quicker, which it is, and laps the stars every year, plus 1/5 of a degree, is that right? Of a degree, then the stars lag behind 1/5 of a degree the next year. At the equinox, not only the sun, but the whole Milky Way band against the background stars.
What
Because
did
there's
the Milky
three
Way band
motions.
play?
There's
That's how you burn, for
the
fuck's sake.
planetary motions in the
Yeah.
ecliptic plane.
I need a
So they all
celestial
follow the
gap.
ecliptic plane over the year. That's what I meant to do. This is what the video started off with me going to explain the sine wave. Because, you know, we know the guy
Did it?
YouTube keeps showing us
Did it?
this flipping sine wave. Okay? And they don't really understand it, so I was going to do the video on that. Well, I don't think I'm going to have time now. Get on to onto that with another video, eh? Yeah, so the ecliptic plane tilts like this, and all the planets move on that ecliptic plane, up and in, down and out. And the sun projects its rays onto this, because the magnetic field, it's the moving of the magnetic field. The actual sun back in creation stays there and does a small rotation, but it projects its light out across on these magnetic field lines. Okay, as it turns around the black hole.
Celestial gap. Come on.
That's the seasonal changes, up and down. Where was I going with that?
Ether. Just say, come on. You just want to
Oh,
say
down here,
ether.
constellations go backwards. So, and what happens is the sun's the quickest because it's on the inside track of the ecliptic plane.
Oh, wrong
And
one.
it passes. So, it's the stars. Well, the sun catches up and passes them. It passes them over the whole year. Right round, and then ends up just there, slightly in front. By, is this right? I don't know, 1/5 of a degree a year.
You wrote it.
Could be. Can't remember.
He's asking us whether he's right again.
And people can't get their head around that fact. They keep thinking that the stars are quicker.
No, Lindsay, you're wrong.
It's down here. Stars move around the Earth 361 degrees over 24 hours. Only because the sun is 1 degree quicker than the stars per day. This is per day.
But you
If
said
the
that
sun
one
is shot ahead
degree
No.
in a
by
year.
1 degree, then the stars appear to move that extra 1 degree.
Sun is one
catch
degree
up to the
quicker than the
24-hour
stars. What
day
the hell
of
is he
the
talking
sun.
about?
But the actual 360-degree cycle is 23.56 minutes. The sun keeps time.
Is he
It's a
trying to explain
24-hour
the difference between sidereal and
Okay.
solar time?
I think so.
Say
Probably.
that till the
I
cows
think
come
he
home,
might
people
be,
still
yeah,
won't
loosely.
understand.
They get very confused about it.
He's
So
zippy.
the
Yes.
sun's quicker. The sun is quicker. Shoots past them. They all go in the same pace,
I
roughly,
can't stop.
but except for that 1 degree per day. And no, I can't do it that way. I've done other
We know
videos
you
on that.
can't.
It's just how the whole system works. No one won't tell you that, Dave, because that's not to do with their ball. Next year, the equinox, not the. So you've got to understand. There's the okay. Back to the planets. You've got the motion of the planets. You've got the motion of the background stars, and then you have the motion of the Milky Way. So, see up here, the sun moving in the Milky Way. The sun slips in the Milky Way because the Milky Way slips to the background stars, and the sun is in here. And the sun slowly moves ahead of the Milky Way stars because the sun is right at the centre. It's on the inside track. So even though the Milky Way stars are right there around it, because like the umbilical cord and the egg inside it, the sun is that little bit quicker. So it's moving, slipping inside the Milky Way 30 degrees every 21,600 years. This is the precession of the equinoxes. Precession is 1 degree over 72 years.
Yes.
Realise that? So you're seeing a change
That's maths is a bit hard for him.
in star patterns. Now this takes us back to Abydos, you see. In Abydos, they're showing us, the Egyptians, the reliefs are showing us an overlay of images. This is the Milky Way passing over the background stars. Okay? So you've got an image in the stars, but when the Milky Way finally catches up, it overlays another image, a different image. And this is what those helicopters and those ships and stuff are in Abydos. They're an overlay. You take that back off, you'll find the original, and then you'll find this other one that's been overlaid to give it a different image. This is what happens between the Milky Way and the background stars.
Hey, follow that?
No.
So, precession
Why,
is
does it not
gravity
work?
induced. What a joke. I'm going to read something off my phone in a minute. Global nonsense. Precession caused by the cyclic precession of Earth's axis of rotation. What a joke. This is the rotation up here. Because of this X motion inside the central vortex of creation, and its up and down movement and within it. And all that's cast into our night sky here. Okay? Projections. That's what's changing. The projections, the images from in here, slightly change out here in our sky. A moisture-filled atmosphere with the black backdrop. That's the screen. Precession caused by the cyclic precession
You read
of
that
the Earth's
already.
axis of rotation. LOL. No, it is merely the sun being ahead of the stars by that much each year. Why? Because the sun is on the inside track of the ecliptic plane. It's the fastest, has the most energy. Energy is coming out of the centre black hole, and the sun's the first thing off the rank, first thing on the rank. I've gone over it all already.
Okay, finish.
There's heaps on my mind.
No.
So that's the way we need to look at the zodiac. Draw it that way. And everything starts at Aries, right?
I thought it started
Starts
Leo.
here and goes that way. Everything is moving that way in the zodiac. But because the sun is quicker, it's leaving the stars behind. So when the sun shows up somewhere here, this is obviously back a little bit more each year because the sun is so much quicker, leaving it behind. That's all it is, because the sun is right back here in the centre, just off centre, and the black hole's in the centre.
Has he said place a rest yet?
It's a good one.
Nah,
Understand
it's
that?
probably not.
See?
No, I
The
think
animals?
so.
Don't think so.
Ram, the ram's horn. I think I've done a video on that one. I've done a video that you showed the bull's horn, what it all meant once before.
Oh, they belong. Yeah.
Understand that, the star's image, and then bring it back around like that. So you're looking at it back to front, inside out. That's why you can't pair them.
God, Liz,
Probably
do
can
that
if you're
again
a
before
flipping
over.
genius.
That'd be
You
funny.
probably search it out.
That'd be entertaining.
Right, back to this phone here.
Oh, good. Oh, we have a reading.
Yep.
First shout, they'll
Frickin'
take out the
science
holy
nonsense.
pin.
Yes.
Read it out to you. Show what these dickheads are
I
doing.
shall count to 4.
Right. Britannica,
3
precision
is
of the
right out.
equinoxes,
No,
right? They get these
4 is
stupid
right
bloody
out.
drawings of the tilted ball Earth.
5, whatever.
I think the Earth tilted ball Earth. Funny how they say that the Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees when you can get out there with a telescope and watch the planets over the whole year and watch them tilt and then back up and then go that way. Because Earth's fixed and stationary, we're watching the whole ecliptic plane above us tilt down and out, up and in. So this is level here, right? This is level through here. But that's not the equinox. The equinox is down here when you're sort of probably equal. It's down here further. We don't see, well, you should, I suppose you can. I don't see it because the weather's so crappy. You'll see that the planets here are sitting level at the 6th of September. Equinox is not, it's already on the way down, isn't it? It's already on the way down here. There's the equinox there. It's up here, that's everything sits level.
Can't follow
It's
your
the
thing.
holiest of holy times of the year. 6th day of creation, all that. Now, listen to what they say here.
No, I hadn't
In
mentioned
compiling his
David
famous
Mission.
star catalogue, completed in 129 BCE, the Greek astronomer Hipparchus noticed that the positions of the stars were shifted in a systematic way from earlier Babylonian Chaldean measures. Probably just altered a little bit. This indicates that it was not the stars that were moving, but rather the observing platform. Hello? Who decided
Hello?
that? Where's the evidence of that?
You just said it.
Just because of
If
what he
we
just
have
said there.
celestial gap,
This indicates that it was
No,
not
I
the stars
heard
that
that.
were moving, but rather the observing platform. Dipshits, where'd that come from? Where's the evidence? Not round there. Earth.
Whoever's all
Such
the
a
evidence
motion
for
is called
each
precession
stuff,
and
but
consists
okay.
of a cyclic wobbling in the orientation of Earth's axis of rotation with a period of 25,772 years. Precession was the third discovered motion of Earth. Third discovered motion. The truth is, the third. Background stars, Milky Way, ecliptic plane. And they're all back in here in the centre. Okay? This tilting down or tilting up. Up and down.
Yes, you
And the
did
background
know
stars are down here. You've got the background stars in here. The planet's up around here. And then you've got the Milky Way. And the sun is in the Milky Way. And the sun is rolling in the Milky Way a little bit quicker than the Milky Way is moving across the sky. After the far more obvious daily rotation and annual revolution, precession is caused by the gravitational influence, gravitation, of the sun and the moon, acting on Earth's equatorial bulge. To make a lesser extent, the planets exert influence as well. Totally made up bullshit. They've made a whole story to go with it. And the people on Earth are so dumb, so ignorant, they go with it. So I went over that, didn't I? The motions of the stars each day. So the sun's raced ahead that 1 degree. So these stars now have to make up that there, see? So because the stars have gone round, done their 360 and ended up here in only 23.56 minutes, the average guy thinks, oh, they're quicker. They're not thinking of the gap here where they have to move that little bit. They make up.
Which gap? Which gap?
It's all theory. Where they're making up this little gap, this 1 degree extra.
What gap?
Because they do that circuit, as they're doing the circuit, the sun races away ahead. That's the 360 degrees there. But this is your 24-hour day, and the sun rules, governed by the sun. So it's lagging, 4 minutes behind. Simple. Abydos, the overlay, stars, Milky Way coming along, and look, overlays. Oh, look, change the shape of the stars and the constellations.
But it didn't.
An overlay.
Yeah, it's not what happened.
um,
Go on, you've been all over that.
that's
Search
all
people
then.
get.
That's all I
you
had
can go
prepared.
home. Search will get.
Not enough room on the board to get going.
He's not going to
add
say
more to it, I
E3,
suppose.
is he?
Watch it all again if you like.
Thanks.
It's all there, easily
Sounds like we're
explained.
near the end anyway.
Magnetic fields of
Once
Earth.
was twice,
There's
didn't
the
he?
image of the night sky in the north,
A few minutes left.
and it sends out an inverted image out here to the south.
No,
And they're
Fred,
turning
not
together.
yet.
And everything turns as it moves around. It's always an image out there from the centre point. Pretty easy. Understanding that, sun shooting that way, everything moving in the one direction. No la BS shit from the bloody globe, everything's spinning in all sorts of directions. It's all going that way.
No, they're not.
If you can think of those...
Earth's only turning in one direction.
I think of the word.
Yeah, not making up different directions for them.
Everything gets spins around that way.
That's
but
why everything else
you
all
can,
turns in one direction.
You can imagine a bit of shrapnel from when that plasma was created, the sun, bang, initially, maybe, threw off
What?
certain things, plasma burst like, created the other rotation that spin off in the night sky. You see those other star formations? They're trying to tell you there's black holes everywhere.
Been off.
Forget all that bullshit. There's only one black hole to think of, and that's the whole black hole, the stationary fixed black hole core that has created our fixed plane of inertia, our Earth.
Ooh, plane of inertia.
And then think of this as the magnetic flux. Everything
Why do you have to say
in
plane?
reverse to
What
what we know on the
state?
physical Earth.
Yeah.
The hydrogen molecule goes up, changes its gaseous state to nothing. And some flat earthers talk about, oh, we have to be in a closed system, otherwise, what happens? Well, when they're referring to the spinning ball, yeah. You can't have the spinning ball. You've got this gas that's shredded to almost nothing, lightest gas found on Earth. Can't be up there, close to this space where the ball's spinning. What's containing it? No, but it's all within the flux. The pressure, the high pressure, reducing the very low pressure. So it's all tied to the plane of inertia. You can't
Just say place
float
of
off
rest
anywhere.
celestial
It's part of
gas.
the flux
Ether.
of the Earth. It's all about the hydrogen molecule, moisture. Everything's projected into moisture.
That's the last word he says.
Resonating frequencies from the black hole. All the sound comes from this black hole. It's the trumpet. And the sun was formed when it hit the right frequency. Beautiful frequency created all life on Earth.
Oh, bingo.
And it's thanks to the sun that we all...
Who has bingo?
I'm lying. I just don't know.
Yeah, no, I know you're not.
Oh, you can't do that. It's cheating.
It's cheating. Yeah, I gotta keep
have
going.
images. There would be no
Nearly there.
images. There'd be nothing.
Oh, damn
There'd
it.
be the sound, the resonance, but there'd be no images.
For it to be bingo, Matt, you need place of rest and dual system.
Oh, right, okay.
Until the sun was created. The sun what gives light and gives us all that.
Dual
everything we see.
system. There you go. Bingo.
But nothing's actually physical. It's all of the light. The hydrogen molecule resonating inside those molecules, the sound that's coming out of there, resonating. And then we're all made up of individual, a collection of frequencies that are all governed by the celestial bodies.
Make it up
As above, so below. All the frequencies are there, casting the image down here on the Earth. All far out with these globies. Leave it there, eh? If you like this sort of stuff, think about signing up to my Patreon. And
No, I don't think so.
I tend to put more information there. I'm starting to anyway. And put a thumbs up or likes up and share.
Like so.
No.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Bollocks. Bollocks, bollocks. All I needed was ether, but that was about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, Matt could have done. Go on.
I've had place of rest and celestial gap for waiting for like half the video.
Yeah.
Oh, and Matt, nerd alert, this is specially for you. And you want to know the best bit?
Oh,
Because because I'm not using headphones, I don't even get to hear it.
oh, you. Yeah.
Cruel and unusual punishment there.
does bring back memories, though. It really does. Funny.
Well, it's okay. He
Time
can't
no time. Sexy. No.
Well,
God rest his soul.
well, there you go, Matt. That's what you needed. If you had got ether, you could have called bingo with farmers and place of
Yeah,
rest.
place of rest.
Dual system. But,
What? Scroll up a little bit. Place of rest and what? What's it? Dual system. All right. there you go.
sorry, yeah. I can
Things in the way.
Change
Thing
my-
that was in the way.
Yeah, I'd got Milky Way, ecliptic plane,
Yeah,
black
so-
hole, southern hemisphere. So almost the same diagonal line that you were waiting for as well.
Yeah.
But
Yes, I had vortex moon, black hole, celestial gap, Egyptians as a diagonal line.
Ooh,
So
that's unusual.
And sun, moon, ecliptic plane, knowledge, and place of rest was the horizontal line that I didn't get.
I've got several lines of 3, but I just got that one diagonal that I got the 4 and he just never said ether.
Nah.
That was
Didn't
saved a
get
lot
ether.
of pain. But
I tell you what you ought to do is, like, we ought to have, like, if you get a diagonal, okay, a proven diagonal, I don't know, you get some sort of benefit. I don't know. You can talk about whatever you want. You can talk about whatever you want for 10 minutes or something.
All right.
Farmers, I love that one. You can talk about tanks for 10 minutes. Well,
no, I
that's,
could
you know,
totally
amazing.
ban Jackson and talk about U-boats instead.
I thought you were going to do that anyway.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Give it half
Yeah.
a chance, yeah.
Look, Matt, if you want to talk about something for 10 minutes, go for it. Go.
No, I've got nothing to talk about. I've got nothing to talk about for 2 minutes, let alone 10.
10
I really
minutes. I
don't.
was going to say, that's a bit of an odd prize. The prize is if you get it diagonal, you get to call bingo and we get to stop Lindsay. That's the prize.
Exactly.
No, but I mean, like an extra thing, because I mean, like a diagonal would be quite unusual. You don't often get diagonals, do you? So,
Yeah.
I just thought,
Statistically,
I don't know,
you get the diagonal is just as much as you get the horizontal and the vertical. Through the middle.
okay.
Through the
Well,
middle.
you've got
spoil
quite
it,
a
why
few
don't you?
more horizontal and verticals to get compared with just
Yeah.
2 diagonals.
No, man, well,
Mm.
since black hole is almost said every time, and the horizontal and vertical through the middle is pretty common in Lindsay bingo.
Oh, you don't need to analyse it. It's just a bit of fun. So I'm just saying.
Sorry, I just have to address Judy. That particular word isn't, but yes, the card is full of that.
The entire card is bullshit.
Yes. Yeah. Ah, dear. Look, as I said, I could find very, very little. I've got Leo. I got one Leo video that I was willing to play. The rest of the videos.
Oh, I bet I know which one that is as well. Yeah, go on.
The rest of the videos I went through this week were all pseudo-religious. How football in America is rigged. As I said, 10 billion Lindsay videos for some reason. There was nothing really. A few reposts of other videos that have been posted before that seem to be, common. You go,
There's the ongoing smack between Flatzoid and Rachie.
I
That's quite amusing.
I find it really hard to watch either of them. I admit.
Somebody was saying that she produced produced a video that seemed to be full on globe.
Yeah,
Is she a full on glober now, or is she complete non
She
flat
is.
Earth?
Yes.
pretty
Oh, right,
much.
okay.
Pretty
Oh, right,
much.
okay, completely.
Pretty much.
That's why she's getting so much, because we all know what happens when a flat earther says, no, hang on a minute, this is bollocks, it's not flat earth.
Yeah.
But they're excommunicado, pilloried, abused, insulted. And of course, we're seeing all that again with Rachie, because I think Rachie I don't think she was full on flat earth. She'd got the wrong people whispering in her ear. But that wrong person is now supporting Flatzoid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Rachie is. I think she was always clever enough to work it out for herself if she was left alone to get on with it. And I think that's what she's done. And I think she's come to her senses, and now she's getting sniped at from Oakley and Flatzoid and all the rest of them, and she's just having to go back and sort of saying, no, look, this is where you're wrong. If it's an act, it's a bloody impressive one. I don't think it was an act.
I mean, this is what makes Flat Earth very cult-like, isn't it? Because if you leave, you're called a traitor, a scumbag, and you're traitor to the cause and all that kind of thing. That doesn't really happen. If somebody becomes a flat earther, we don't call them traitor and scumbag and all that kind of thing. You're just an idiot.
You're never a truther. You're never a truther because you don't believe what we're telling you to.
This comparison has been made a few times. It's very similar to Scientology when somebody leaves Scientology or tries to leave Scientology, let alone if you're famous and try to leave Scientology. You get you get worse treatment. But
I would argue with people to say that it's a cult. I don't think it is a cult because there's certain elements missing, but it is cult-like. It's got some cult-like sort of elements to Flat Earth, isn't it?
The behaviour's very cult-like, isn't it? Because as we've seen before, when Ranty, when Ranty finally came to his bloody senses over that Blackpool photograph, the stick he got for that. And
Oh, yeah.
people saying that about Rachel now. You'll see people saying, "Oh, she was never a flat earther. She was a plant. She's a Poe."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. She's been paid to do this because they always say we're paid to defend the
Well,
globe. Wish.
Isn't it funny that you know, with these flat earthers, they're well convened and they're called flat earthers and all the rest of it, but as soon as they leave, they weren't real flat earthers.
No,
you know,
no.
as soon as they leave, they're not weren't real flat earthers. That keeps happening over time and time again. And I actually posed that question to somebody that was in Discord the other day.
Big group.
And they were talking about he was talking about Ranty, and he was saying, oh, he was never a real flat earth and all the rest of it. So I posed the question, and I said, how long have you been a flat earth and how long have you been doing this? And he said, 10 years. And I said, in all that 10 years, have you ever publicly announced that somebody is not a real flat earther? And he said, no, I don't think I have. Well, then why are you doing it now with Ranty? Yeah. Just because all of a sudden, doesn't it seem a bit of coincidence that now that Ranty left and now you're saying he's not a real flat earther? So why didn't you say that before? Well, you know, he didn't answer that question.
No.
I mean, they do all the other fallacies. So, I mean, they're going to do the no true Scotsman as well, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, true. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, at the time, Ranty was a flat earther. There's no two ways about it.
Oh, yeah. He genuinely believed in what he thought he was looking at. He genuinely did.
He'd got the flat earth mindset. I mean, getting sunburn and blaming it on chemtrails.
Yeah.
If that ain't the typical flat earther, I don't know what is, you know.
Yes. So, Flatsoid seems to be picking on Rachel a fair bit, but I think he just probably more because he thinks he gets a lot of views from that, and he's got obviously people pushing it.
Yeah.
I don't think she particularly cares, honestly, which is probably good on her.
I think she's
probably
realised
that
kind of mindset. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Realised what was going to happen. So, very good. So the only flat Earth video I've got. I do have
I see Zebulon's pushing it a bit.
Zebulon. Yeah.
Demok.
Yeah.
Oh, Demok, yeah.
Oh, there it is. There. Trying to find
I'll tell you who I 100% I believe is 100% a real flat earther, and that's Dell. 100%. He genuinely believes in what he's talking about.
Yes.
He's probably one of the few that I really think that is a real proper flat earther. You know? There's not many of them.
Well, it depends what you call a flat earther, because it's a pretty much. I think every one of them is very different. No.
Yeah, but I mean, just the language he uses and the passion he sort of has behind the crap that he says.
Yeah.
You know, and he really does sort of have this kind of way of kind of making other people believe in this stuff. You know, he seems to be quite passionate about it, and I don't get any indication that he's nothing but fully believes in what in the flat Earth completely.
Yeah,
but
it's impossible.
Well, yes, maybe right, but he doesn't follow his own logic through. That's the frustrating thing. He'll stop.
Oh no, Mabbit's just an idiot. He's a genuine idiot.
Oh, Mabbit, yeah.
Oh, he's a troll. I
don't think he is trolling. I think he's just an idiot. I really.
Well, no, he is an idiot. But when it comes to flat Earth, he's trolling because, like you said to me, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, well, true, maybe, but I just don't think he is a troll.
Well, sometimes I agree with Farmers, because when you hear the few times you hear his missus in with him, and you think, and she thinks it's all bollocks what he does and all this sort of stuff, you just get the impression that
he's just doing it for a laugh.
Yeah.
He's just doing it for a laugh because he's retired. He's sat at home. If he ain't giving his lad a hand with something, like I say, he sat at home on his own. His missus is out. You know when his missus is out, because that's when he goes truly apeshit. But it is because if you talk to him about anything else, he's just a perfectly normal guy. When it comes to flat Earth, he overdoes it, and he did. The one time I met him, he said to me, "Oh, it's just a bit of fun." You know,
Well,
just
I mean,
doing
he
it for
could
a
be
laugh.
he could be having fun with it, but I'm just not sure whether he's actually doing the whole thing for a laugh and he doesn't genuinely believe that the Earth is flat. I think he does. I just think he's just not intelligent. It's as simple as that. Period.
Oh, he's in no way intellectual.
No. No.
That's for sure. Yeah, when you list all his achievements, no, I can weld this, I can weld that. Yes, you've just learned that by being taught by other people. You know,
You've learned how
you
to
left
weld.
school early, you didn't go to college or university. You're not an intellectual in any way, shape, or form. He is profoundly stupid, but I still think he's just playing silly buggers for the crack.
Yeah, you could be right. I'll reserve judgment.
Oh, well, for Matt. Matt loves these. You go, Matt.
I was just Leo.
Leo.
Oh God, I haven't seen
Check
this
this
one.
out and I'll come back.
Oh, yeah, right. That's unusual. Hang on. I've got to play from the beginning. Surely he poisoned the well first.
Check
Yeah.
this
Of
out
course.
and I'll come back.
There will be new opportunities for science and discoveries. Not only will we increase our knowledge of our planet and the universe,
Oh,
we
here
will
we go.
advance
Poisoning
research
the well
that
already.
leads to breakthrough science
Yeah.
in
Yep.
areas that benefit people on Earth, like healthcare, and give rise to technologies that do not yet exist. But I am most excited for our kids.
Right.
Today's announcement is a clear message to the next generation of Canadian explorers, future geologists, engineers, astronauts.
Fantasy.
Canada is inviting you to dream big. Thank you for giving me the chance to make history with you today.
What was the
all
arrow
way
pointing
from
at?
space.
His
No,
belt.
thanks to you
Like,
for highlighting
what?
the fact you're wearing a harness.
I'm sure he'll
making
tell
it
you.
obvious for most to see. Only the fantasists, naive and the gullible, will conjure up some delusional excuse for what we're seeing here and for all the other things that are highlighted. But you made it so obvious, in fact, that when the news played your little clip later on that day, they had to cover up the obvious harness at play. Look.
What harness?
What
There
honest?
will be new opportunities for science and discoveries. Not only will we increase our knowledge of our planet and the universe,
What?
we will advance research
I
that leads
just
to
zoomed
breakthrough
in 'cause I
science
thought it was a
in
bit
areas that benefit
boring.
people on Earth, like healthcare, and give rise to technologies that do not yet exist.
Well, they just cropped it to make him front and center, you know.
But I'm
Yeah.
most excited for our kids.
Can afford it. 'Cause that
still see
stays
the
there
belt-
all
belt.
the time,
I mean, yeah.
covering
Well,
up the
well, it's not the
obvious
belt,
harness
it's
at play. Now, don't get me
the-
wrong.
The universe,
They're trying to claim that this, because his shirt gets indented here, that's...
Oh, that right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
how come it's there but not on the other side?
Right.
So, it's like, right. I can't... Yeah.
Josh,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. That usually flashes up with the start of a story and then disappears so you can see the full screen.
No, it
Of
doesn't.
course, in this case, they realised Matey Boy here's harness was looking rather obvious, and as a result, they kept their letter and their wording up.
Well, show...
But that is
Nonsense.
Well, the question is, show evidence where that they kept it up when they wouldn't usually. Easy.
rather obvious. I mean, the people who actually believe the globe and space at this point in time are just lost causes. It's been explained to them, it's been highlighted, and the fact the globe's impossible.
What cause are we lost to?
All that leaves these people then is to make ridiculous delusional
Reality.
excuses,
Yeah.
lie and misrepresent, and essentially fantasize. It's bizarre, really is. These people, obviously, I'm a bit of a space basher, so you can imagine I'm quite popular with these toy playing fantasists, and yeah, and I do get quite a lot of videos made about me, but I just don't watch them. Why would I shed light on dark?
You don't watch
No,
anything.
I've got better things to do. If they had scientific demonstrations to refute me, I'd entertain it. Not only would I entertain it, I'd show it on my channel. But no,
No,
I'm
you
not
wouldn't.
going to show triggered pantomime artists spitting
Nah.
their dummies out because I bash their fantasy world week in, week out. And here's another obvious harness. Again, fantasists will, like I say, will conjure up some sort of delusional excuse. Hey, you carry on.
Where's
Just
the
don't
obvious?
expect people
That's
like
the thing, I
ourselves
can't-
to take
how is it
views
obvious?
seriously. Have a good one, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, this is typical of what they all do. You know, they'll cherry pick one tiny little aspect, but they're ignoring everything else, like all the other things that could probably be floating around them at that time. You know, he might have
Yeah.
floated the microphone from one hand to the other, like they often do, or there
Yeah.
might be other objects floating around, or a necklace floating around. But they never explain those sort of things, do they? Ever?
Well, I
You
was
know, they
watching.
just cherry
Well,
pick one tiny little thing.
they're explaining how the
And
toilet
let's
works.
face it,
Good.
clothes aren't hanging like they usually hang, are they?
Mm,
So they're
no.
going they're potentially able to look unusual compared with what you would see in normal Earth gravity.
Right.
Well, if you look at some of these close enough, as Matt has said, they're things like it's clothing, necklaces, watches, people's hair, even people's faces. They've done comparisons and looked at photos of astronauts whilst they're here on Earth and whilst they're on the ISS, and their faces look different because there's no gravity sort of, affecting how your face sits on you.
That's right.
Yeah.
To have to do all of this in CGI to that level of detail, like I said, it'd be easy to put the buggers up there in space. It'd be easy to do it than to fake it. Like the Apollo missions, it was easy to go there than it was to try and bloody fake it.
I was forgetting about the zero G facelift.
Yes.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same. Yep.
It does. There are certain astronauts where you can see, if you look at the difference between them down here and on the ISS, you can see the difference in their bloody faces. But their clothing doesn't hang right. The watch is sort of wobbling around the wrist because the strap isn't quite tight enough. The necklace is trying to drift off on its bloody own. All of these, and they're going, oh, look, there's a harness, but you can't see it because they've CGI'd it out. But they've CGI'd all this in,
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
And the other videos they never play of, talking about other things that are going on. They always play these videos of interviews rather than things of where they're actually doing other stuff where you actually see things floating around much more and they're doing real science, etc.
I remember actually doing one on Flatsoid because Flatsoid was talking about one of the female astronauts' hair. And I actually pointed out her necklace was floating around here, there, and everywhere. And of course, I didn't get a response from it, but he forgot all about that. But I tried to press him and stuff like that, but never got an answer. And I pressed him actually on the Discord once as well. Managed to corner him, but he still wouldn't give me an answer.
It was like when Leo was challenged to look at that tour of the ISS that went on for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And all he could address was the 2 or 3 camera cuts. Forget everything else. Forget all of the floating around and passing from module to module to module, which showed it couldn't be on a vomit comet, and he was in 0G for far too long. All he could go was, oh look, they can't. There's a camera cut.
Oh, I remember it was the finger.
Ignore the elephant in the room, shall we?
Remember it was the one finger that even his people on his channel said, no, I think that's he's stretching earlier.
Yeah, the finger on the latchway, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. But you can't point these out in the comment section because we've all been banned. I only ever made one comment on one video, and that was it. I was blocked. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't hear anybody telling you you're wrong if you stick your fingers in your ears.
Yeah, you don't watch anything.
Hey, at least in space, you can't hear a flurf.
Well, you can if you're inside the ISS.
Yeah.
Paul, do you have a quiz tonight?
I have a quiz. I've written the questions. I'm just in the middle of formatting them, so all the
that's okay.
At once.
That's okay.
And I can give you some pictures or title screen. So if you give me 5 minutes,
I can do that.
A quiz.
That's okay.
All right.
No rush. I'll find something to put up. That's not a problem. I do have this really annoying. This one really irritated me, but probably won't only Australians would appreciate it. It's a mud flood on Australia. Quite long, so I'll probably skip a bit through it. 50 minutes. We weren't going to watch 50 minutes worth. Trust me.
Oh, now's probably the best time to go and get another cup of tea then.
Yeah.
What is this place we inhabit? What is this mysterious world? Our society is definitely one with cultural amnesia. Regardless of humanity's myriad accomplishments in technology and entertainment or grandiose best-laid plans for the future, It simply cannot be argued that we are a species that knows where we come from. Oh, sure, we've inherited an official historical narrative that was arrived at by wars, deceptions, compromises, and enslavement. We're all very well aware that only the winners of the wars are left in the privy position to write their tales and thus preserve and perpetuate their version of history and indeed their legacy. For, well, dead men tell no tales, eh? One thing's for certain. Anyone who thinks they have a firm understanding, let alone all the answers to what has occurred over, say, even just the last 300 years, is only fooling themselves. Anyone who believes they can explain what happened in the years prior to 300 years ago is an exercise in insanity, in my opinion.
I just want to point out, because these photos were taken less than 300 years ago. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah. The endeavor of history surely isn't exempt from the old adage, the path to enlightenment begins with the realization that we know nothing. The standard official narrative that we're handed as children in school in order to explain the linear progression of past events leading up to today, known as history, are at face value seemingly adequate to explain how our modern culture has arrived at our current state. Indeed, our history would have us believe that modern mankind is the pinnacle of evolution and technology. But like so many other topics of study, if you scratch the surface of what we've been led to believe, we find that indeed, even our history is unfortunately not immune to the dubious decay of deception and, of course, the dubious decay of scientism. Up to this point, most of my videos delving into our stolen history have been centered around the Americas due to the fact that, while America is, according to the official version of events, very unique in the sense that Western civilization has only the span of a few hundred years within which to erect all the great cities and underlying infrastructure that we still see evidence of today, to highlight the stark similarities between America and Australia in terms of the rather odd origin story of Australia's criminal colonies and all of their great cities, which seemingly sprung up overnight, right alongside the timeline of similar American cities.
Overnight? What are we talking about?
No, I know. Well, the other thing is, we have beetles like this in Australia. It's not as scary.
Australia is in an even more compressed situation, as Australia was allegedly discovered by Western eyes over 100 years after Columbus is said to have sailed the oceans blue and discovered America, when of course he thought he was actually in like India.
And this is a sort of rubbish. Sorry, go back a little bit. He's suggesting that's Egyptian. That's a kangaroo.
Well, the Egyptians really love their kangaroos.
And that's from when white people like turned up.
Yeah. So frankly, at this point, I'd be surprised to find a
the first colonies of Australia, what, about 250 years ago or so? The first colonies?
It's in thousands of
Bay, wasn't it? About that?
Oops, sorry. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten one of these letters with a signature on the bottom?
That?
So, of course, he holds it up.
Sorry.
The 250 years is overnight, is it? Right, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Pencil sharpeners.
He's, he has this thing that supposedly there's no way we could have created the cities in the time frames that they've been created. As though
250 years.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Culture has a very unique.
Yeah, sorry, go
on. Nothing. I think it was Alan sneezing.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it was me sneezing. Apologies.
It's all right. I think it was about
any glaring discrepancies and contradictions in the standard narrative that we've been given. Frankly, at this point, I'd be surprised to find a cogent, sensible history of Australia, seeing how all other facets of the historical and even scientific
switch over there.
narrative fall apart under the slightest logical, skeptical scrutiny. I'm your host, John the Morgile. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy. When delving into the concept of our stolen history, it's important that we are all on the same page, at least in theory, for argument's sake. So I think it's safe.
See? What's that?
That was Alan blowing his nose, I think.
Yeah, sorry guys.
It's okay. I
I thought I muted. I obviously missed the bloody button.
I just wasn't sure if your mic had gone funny. It was just sort of... That's all right, sorry, Alan.
Well, which would you rather me do? Blow me schnoz or keep sneezing?
I know, it was fine. It was just we went
either way is funny, Alan. It's fine.
Yes. There's the Opera House, just there.
To say that the historical narrative that we're given as children is basically a cover-up. A cover-up of, well, very ancient, highly technological civilization, which held a dominant presence the world over.
This is Australia, by the way.
We indeed find ancient pyramids in Australia, a telltale signature of some of the older achievements of this worldwide so-called Tartarian Empire. Not
that's not a pyramid.
only do we find pyramids, but also Greco-Roman style temples, giant obelisks, megalithic Stonehenge style great
They are called war memorials.
calendar sites aligned to constellations,
That's not
ostensibly
Australia.
used to track the seasons and predict important celestial events. Of course, the standard version of history states that during the late 1700s, early 1800s, Britain had the brilliant idea of dumping off their overflowing prison population into what would be called prison colonies, which were, according to the standard historical shtick, the genesis of the modern Australia we know and love today. Down under, if you will. When going about delving into the history of Australia's modern origins, I tend to look for certain hallmarks of the historical deception, which certainly create a bit of a running theme across.
Just point out, this is the stuff he does. Hang on, he goes into that one. Have a look at the tape.
Britain had the brilliant idea of dumping off their overflowing prison population into what would be called prison colonies, which were, according to the standard historical shtick, the genesis of the modern Australia we know and love today. Down under, if you will.
Yes.
When going about delving into the history of Australia's modern origins, I tend to look for certain hallmarks of the historical deception.
Talk about deception. Okay. What gives this away that that's not a picture of something from Australia?
Well, the lettering in the bottom right-hand corner looks Polish to me.
Yeah. The do not enter tape has the wrong language.
Yes.
Yeah. Looks Polish or Austrian or something.
And it's full of this all the way. And also he flashes things up and then sort of as though this somehow proves stuff. But, if you partly read what some of it says, it's just,
Which certainly creates a bit of a running theme across all the modern American cities I've ever scrutinized through this lens of a stolen history. And indeed, unsurprisingly, we find pretty much all the same signature narrative devices and deceptive tactics in the questionable history of Australia as well. I believe a case could even be made that America and Australia are like sister continents in many respects. So a quick rundown of the similarities that we're going to cover in today's video are, so like both America and Australia have recent founded on dates, similar cathedrals, grandiose, magnificent, and luxurious asylums for the insane, built specifically custom just for them. Let's not forget the quintessential World's Fair in the late 1800s. The grandiose post offices spared no expense, because we know how they definitely want to put all the bling bling they can put into the post office of the 1800s. We also find the orphanages galore in Australia.
Stop for a second. I'm going to say, you need to go look at British water treatment plants from the mid-1800s.
Yeah.
Because, my God, do they look like temples to technology.
They do that that was the fashion of public infrastructure at the time. To make it look important.
Yeah, to make it look a bit more aesthetically pleasing. Yeah.
If they're spending the money on it, it's got to be something that's worthwhile. What was the thing? And lunatic asylums were everywhere in the So that's just normal.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to
Funny
restart.
enough, the lunatic asylum in Norwich looks just like that.
Oh yeah.
Built at exactly the same time.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. During England and America, and that was the style of building. It was just.
Or reset a city without a bunch of orphans. Of course, Australia and really Sydney specifically.
First of all, he's going to get this wrong.
Definitely has your quintessential Great Fire of fill in the blank city.
There is no Great Fire of Sydney. This is one building that burnt down
in the late 1800s. So yeah, Sydney has their Great Fire as well. And then for Australia in general,
and this one, I'm pretty confident they're not Aboriginals.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. They don't look very Aboriginal.
Yeah,
South American, North American, maybe South America. I don't know.
Yeah, the bows and arrows tend to give it away.
We of course have the natives or indigenous people who were these, allegedly primitive troglodytes who didn't even own a pair of pants. Among a lot of them, running around naked in the bush with feathers in their hats, right?
No, that's not what the Aboriginals did.
I was going to say feather in the hats. What?
Exactly. And
oh dear.
They actually were arguably one of the first people to actually ever settle. They just moved around a bit. That's all.
Yeah, I'd like to do a reverse image search on that particular image right there.
Yeah, I probably
really
would.
Know and see what the origins of that was, because they're not Aboriginal, surely.
No, I don't think so.
Also in Sydney, we have the secret tunnels, the subterranean underworld.
Well, they're not secret. We all know about them.
That we find beneath most major cities, we certainly do find in Sydney. Indeed, Sydney.
Yeah, they think things like the sewage tunnels and stuff like that. They're not secret.
Yeah.
Australia checks all these boxes and then some, to be sure. So, according to agreed upon official history, Australia, the massive continent, was not discovered by Western or European civilization until 1606, a full 100 plus years after Columbus sailed the oceans blue. I'm not sure why this fact surprises me so much still. I suppose it's all the hype around calling America, the New World. But alas, America was certainly founded and colonization was kicked off long before Australia was ever graced by the enlightening presence of Christian Europeans and the Holy Roman Empire. Its claim.
It's sort of partly due to the fact that it's a bit closer to Europe than they found it. It's a bit of a journey down here.
That the native Aboriginal tribes in Australia had no written language, so any concept of any high-tech civilization or large coordinated efforts being undertaken by such natives is more or less right out if we're strictly adhering to the official yarns of history.
No, most people actually think the Aboriginals had much better grasp of how to run this country than the Europeans did when they turned up.
Let's face it, you can't rightly plan and build large-scale architectural projects for civil engineering works without any sort of written language. That would be kind of tough to plan and execute now, wouldn't it? But of course, we find traces of the very same worldwide, highly advanced civilization, which left a permanent mark on all continents, thinly veiled behind the modern historical cover-up.
That's
case of Sydney, Australia, it's claimed by standard history that it was founded in 1788 as one of these aforementioned penal colonies, which means that any architecture, engineering, or complex infrastructure that we find in Sydney must have been planned and executed at some point after the end of the 1780s.
What? Don't you get to that one?
Anyone who isn't familiar with large-scale construction projects might find it difficult to relate to just how long and...
Sydney?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All these are in Sydney.
Because I'm going to say, again, typical Victorian neo-Gothic, is it? Or whatever style.
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's...
See that over the UK.
Yeah, was pretty common. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not exactly like that precisely, but pretty similar here in the UK. You find mansions and buildings very, very similar to that. Just pretty typical of the period.
Yeah,
built in the late 1800s.
Yeah,
and in Sydney it worked out really well because there's lots of sandstone, which is what they use. Sydney sandstone's pretty common, and so most of the buildings are made of sandstone, which is not that hard to work with. So.
Isn't familiar with large-scale construction projects might find it difficult to relate to just how long and arduous it is to turn wild, untouched landscapes in all directions into a bustling metropolis as
not that long. You'd sort of say, oh, this takes a long time to build this building. Not really. When you're talking a span of 50 years, you should have most of those buildings easily built in that time.
Sydney, Australia certainly is, and as Sydney certainly was even in the late 1800s. It can take literally years to construct projects such as highway systems or like tunnels and bridges, the infrastructure that's necessary for a city the size of something like Sydney, not to mention the underground substructures and subterranean tunnels. So according to sbs.com.au, so this is like an official sort of narrative website, quote, the Australian wars were fought throughout the continent from the arrival of the First Fleet in 1788 and until the mid-1930s. But these conflicts were not taught in school or even acknowledged as war until the late 20th century. So
yeah, why do you think that was, mate? I don't know if you can understand that really, really crappy accent. The idea that the conflicts...
I understand a bloody word.
Yeah, it's trying to say that the conflict between the settlers and the Aboriginals wasn't taught in schools, but it's because there's a reason that wasn't taught in schools. Just...
Another quote from the same site, sbs.com.au, says, quote, Professor Henry Reynolds is one of Australia's most respected historians and an expert in...
Who? Have you heard of him, Paul?
No.
Warfare. When he started teaching history in 1966, there were almost no references to Aboriginal people in history books. Quote, it only mentioned the Aborigines twice, merely in passing, and there wasn't even an entry in the index, he says. End quote.
Well, yeah, I studied him when I went to school, so don't know what he's talking about.
Quote. So just because Australia was allegedly discovered in 1606 doesn't really mean the later on inserted prison colonies began the process of like building roads, bridges, tunnels, and then planning and breaking ground on all the cathedrals, the exquisite insane asylums, the ginormous and magnificent post offices, and housing the World's Fair straight away. We find a pattern of these World's Fairs exhibitions supposedly taking place in these fledgling cities during the mid to late 1800s, during an era when most of the people allegedly lived in log cabins and no sort of power tools were available to the workers.
Paul, have you ever seen a log cabin?
I have seen a log cabin, but they're not that common.
It's like, we don't have log cabins. What happened to you? Maybe a fibro hut. It might be closer to, but yeah, not a log cabin.
Keep in mind, all of this boom of infrastructure, architecture, and engineering must have been completed in an unrealistic time span, especially considering the alleged lack of technology, supply chains, availability of skilled labor.
What technology? What?
How does he think churches and cathedrals were put up in the Middle Ages?
But you got to remember what they did is a lot of
He doesn't.
A lot of the architects who did all these are either serving or ex-convicts. That's how they got it. What happened when they got here? I said, oh, well, what did you used to do?
I had a quick look, by the way. This is what's generally known as Gothic revival.
Yes, yeah.
Literal warfare and genocide against the natives, along with a complete and utter lack of...
Yeah, sorry, man. I was letting him talk over you. Should do that.
Regional infrastructure.
I was just saying it's what, if you think of sort of Victorian Gothic, then this is it, Gothic revival. And for him sort of saying, how did they do this without power tools? But how do you think they've been putting buildings up for thousands of years without bloody power tools?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of even if like the convicts, convicts come from all kinds of different backgrounds, all kinds of different skills. Did you not think that's possible? They're going to bring those skills over, aren't they? Of course they are. And this is why the architecture has got very much similarities to Western Europe.
I'd like to point out this one thing: they also weren't being paid.
Well, yeah.
So it's not like it's a lot of these stuff that was getting built. They had their masonries. They were taught how to. They only had to cut the sandstone. So yes. It's it wasn't difficult.
Highways, rails, and bridges to support these alleged construction projects, making the prospects all the...
They're all within Sydney. Like, I don't know if you realise there's all these things that are all within walking distance of each other.
More unbelievable. The amount of sheer work entailed with planning and executing a complex citywide roadway and subterranean substructure system is deceptively massive.
Yeah,
no.
over 200 odd years. You know, it's just, I mean,
We don't have a
keeps like indicated that it's like it was all overnight. It wasn't. It was 200 years. A lot happens. You know, you're talking 3 or 4 generations, 4 generations maybe.
Well,
You know,
also, we don't have a subway system like the British do.
No.
It's they didn't do that for a start. And if you go back to the start and look at the planning, they just drew a grid over that was the planning for Sydney. Let's draw a grid. This is it.
It's so much easier when you can start your city in the mid 1800s.
Oh yeah.
But on a greenfield site. I mean, you know, it's not like building London where you've got to incorporate almost 2,000 years of history.
Yes.
Just those 2 things alone. Forget about the giant exquisite buildings. We're just talking the basic roads.
Yeah, well, have a look at this picture. Basic roads. This is the road system. It's just gravel. Most of it's gravel. There's no big highways and stuff. There's nothing. As you can see, everything in Sydney, it's all mostly within walking distance. Or maybe a horse and cart, you know. All the pictures of people walking around are for a reason. Because of how most of them got around.
And substructure.
Also thinking about it, look how big London was in the about 1900.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the suburb that I grew up in, that is definitely London, it wasn't built until the 1930s.
Yeah. That's right.
Structures beneath the city. Even in modern times, it is extremely dangerous, time-consuming, arduous work to build a city from scratch. Again, even in modern times, under ideal circumstances, with just all sorts of modern luxuries, techniques, and equipment. Couple that with the seemingly far older, very ancient structures like the pyramids and often even older sites with very intricate megalithic features which baffle modern scholars and have yet to find a cogent, satisfactory explanation for many of these sorts of archaeological structural evidences of a apparently forgotten civilization that has been effectively erased from the modern historical record in the official sense. However, common sense and a dash of skeptical investigation tells a different story altogether. Let's not forget to mention these indigenous extant populations who already...
That's annoying me. He's still sticking that rotten, horrible picture in the background. He's faded it in. And ignored the actual Aboriginal pictures that are at the front.
inhabited Australia from coast to coast who hadn't exactly gotten the memo that they were...
Ah, coast to coast, you say? You don't know much about Australia, do you? The Aboriginals were pretty much the same as us. They stuck to the coasts. They didn't go much in the middle. Not that they weren't in the middle, but just not much in the middle.
Yeah, because there's that horrible, nasty thing in the middle of it all called a bloody desert. I mean, who wants to live there?
Well, I can tell you the pictures that he's posted up here, they're not the desert Aboriginals. So, yeah.
They're not Aboriginals either. No, that doesn't surprise me.
Subjects of the King
Hang on a minute. Hang on a second.
So for about 150 years, it's claimed that they were engaged in constant bloody conflicts between the European invaders, the settlers, and the rightful inhabitants, the savages. The savages weren't too happy about the ethnic cleansing, cultural destruction, and Christianity at the end of a sword. The story goes, the innocent people who lived there weren't too happy about the magnanimous liberators and bringers of democracy, Christianity, and all. If the story goes anything like the one that we're told here in America, there were probably a lot of empty promises and
No, he hadn't even bothered to even investigate it. Yes, they definitely weren't happy, but it's not. We didn't have the same sort of trying to make treaties and stuff. There wasn't any.
Broken agreements, which ended in the bloodshed on the side of the innocent, allegedly simple natives, savages. Of course, the idea that the natives might have actually set up the complex city grids and countless exquisite buildings and infrastructure which simply couldn't have been built from nothing during the few decades they claim in the early 1800s. The official narrative indeed defies belief.
Yeah, well, wouldn't the Aboriginals be claiming that they did that? They definitely don't.
It goes without saying, it's not exactly conducive to a construction or civil engineering project, having enemy combatants attacking your contractors with deadly force. And so the time constraints on Australia's colonization and modernization period is squeezed into even tighter constraints, much like America, according to even their own narrative. And so they had to decimate the locals and then paint them as savage natives in the history books in order to shed doubt on any concept of them building the stuff that they were going to take credit for building, ostensibly, right? Or at least that's how it would go in the history books, until they could begin taking credit for these remarkable achievements in architecture and engineering, right? Indeed, it wasn't until the 1960s when native Australian Aboriginal peoples were given the right to vote, a stark reminder of the injustices being inflicted on native populations of the world during the so-called Enlightenment or...
Yeah, even that's annoying because pretty much they had a referendum for that and it was pretty overwhelmingly said yes, they should have the right to vote.
So-called colonization period. It certainly seems feasible to me, at least to consider the possibility that there was this great civilization which came to some catastrophic end at some point in the past. That great civilization was then effectively erased from the history books for reasons of conquest and psychopathic posterity. All traces of our forgotten brothers and forebears slowly faded from living memory and then were permanently redacted from our collective official understanding of world history. But the archaeological and architectural evidence indeed speaks for itself. The archaeological and architectural evidence does not lie. The native Aboriginal people of Australia, if they were actually remnants of some great civilization that experienced a catastrophic end at some point prior to this colonization period, might have held traditions which explained their past. However,
no, not at all.
I mean, he just makes up his own shit.
Oh yeah,
quiz is ready whenever you are, Timbo.
Oh yeah. No, it's all full of that. Because all that whole thing. Oh, if it was anything like he didn't even bother to look up what the history between the natives and the Europeans were. Just assumed, it must be like us.
For practically any chance of us glimpsing such wisdom is, by all accounts, highly unlikely.
That's it. So yeah, this goes on with this stuff for a while. And it keeps just.
What a load of old shite.
You can see it flicking through the same images. If you can see that down the bottom there. This one was, I think it was about here somewhere. He talks about this. This is one of the cathedrals in Sydney, which is about maybe 300 meters from the other buildings he was just showing.
Certainly the native savages running around in the woods without pants didn't build anything more than a yurt. Certainly no builders of cathedrals.
It's more than a yurt.
For God's sake.
Yeah, they didn't even bother to research what they did. They were disrespectful as that.
Them, but somehow the cowboys of the 1800s Australian bush were just throwing up massive palatial structures fit for royalty just willy-nilly, just for their insane asylums and post offices if they felt like it. Really though, if we're in the early 1800s Australia, what are the odds that the cathedrals being constructed in early 1800s Australia would be so strikingly similar to the cathedrals popping up in America at around the same time? I mean,
why is that not so? Why is that?
It's almost like actually be surprised if they weren't the same.
Yeah, exactly.
You would think that the recently established prison.
Yeah. Oh, this is the next bit. That just this and this bit, and this one annoyed me even worse. This next bit
popping up in America at around the same time. I mean, you would think that the recently established prison colonies would have their own unique style of architecture and construction, but no. We find cathedrals which could easily be confused for ones found in early San Francisco or Chicago, lending credence to the hypothesis that we are in fact dealing with a
these prison colonies from people that lived in these areas that had these same structures. Designed things
why wouldn't they have the same styles? I mean, like they brought all those skills over they've learned in Western Europe or in Britain or wherever it is they come from.
Yeah.
Even in America. I mean, why wouldn't they have the same styles? Why is that a big surprise to him? I don't get it. What?
And one thing that makes me laugh is we have two cathedrals in Norwich now. The Catholic one that was built around 1900 in the Gothic revival style looks more Gothic than the 900-year-old Gothic cathedral that's been, that was originally built.
Yeah.
A little bit more of this, and then we'll
single
Paul's quiz.
worldwide civilization which really spared no expense when it came to their architectural style, which always seemed to incorporate what has now been termed antiquitech. The official narrative cannot allow for the understanding of similar cultures existing in America and Australia before European colonization, but it appears that such a thing is highly likely and very much supported by the evidence.
No, it's not.
The evidence for this extant highly technological culture, responsible for complex architecture and engineering, is overwhelming and undeniable, if
We'll
one
show some.
merely cares to give the topic a fair shake. Since we now know in modern times that the world is basically a free energy device, a dielectric plane which, if certain principles are understood and exploited, the very design of buildings can be used to harvest and distribute naturally produced free energy, which was ostensibly used to power this long-lost Tartarian civilization. Basically, the differential in electric potential at high elevations versus at the ground creates a vast amount of electrical energy, or electric potential, just waiting to be tapped. This free energy of the so-called ether is measurable at about 100 volts per meter in altitude. It isn't lost on me that such round numbers are probably no coincidence, and I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the metric of volts weren't originally calibrated based on this natural passive electric potential generated by the Earth itself at such a nice round 100 volts per meter, right? Indeed, Nikola Tesla either figured this out on his own or rediscovered this long-lost technology during his years growing up.
Yeah, that's why he didn't name volts. Anyway, move on.
Up as the son of an Orthodox priest in Serbia with access to things like cathedrals and ancient books. Perhaps Tesla was trying to create a system of free energy for all of us during the early 1900s, just as the narrative says.
No,
we're all too familiar with the story of Wardenclyffe Tower. Tesla's claims to be able to freely generate and deliver electrical current using no wires and tower structures inspired by the pyramids, and deliver high voltage electrical energy wirelessly just as easily as we broadcast radio waves today. But of course, Tesla's magnanimous plans to provide free energy for the world were thwarted by the likes of J.P. Morgan and Thomas Edison, who would rather die than see humanity be given free energy forever. At any rate, the very nature of Gothic structures with their signature lofty towers with those pointy metallic protrusions high into the air behave as the negative end of the circuit, while deep beneath the ground, copper stakes would be buried deep in the ground to complete the positive side of the circuit. This is why so many people are convinced
You mean as in like to stop the lightning strikes destroying the tops of the building?
This concept of antiquitech, where the deliberately covered up ancient civilization was using free energy, probably right up to the point when they were usurped by the parasitic archons who buried their legacy and gave us the absurd and unbelievable version of history that we're stuck with to this day. But hopefully not for much longer, so long as enough people wake up and demand change and demand truth. And no fledgling civilization being built by prisoners and exiles and savages would be complete without the grand asylums for the insane. Again, I find it extremely odd that...
That's enough. That was just normal.
See, kids, this is why you shouldn't do drugs.
Yes.
You'll end up like the Morgar.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Enough of that. He just carries on. You go on.
I think it's a good job that we didn't end up with Tesla's main competitor, who everybody seems to adore, the guy who didn't invent the light bulb.
What, Edison? Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't end up with Edison's idea of electricity, because he was all for DC, wasn't he?
Well, that's what his generators were, but he switched over to AC. Eventually, when it became obvious he wasn't going to make any money with DC anymore.
Yeah, but
yeah. Edison.
Plus, of course,
Edison had very little to.
Tesla wasn't a flat earther.
No. Edison didn't have much to do with Tesla's downfall with the Watsy Park. That was just purely financial. He's having a bit of a resurgence, Joe. He's seemed to have come back a few times more recently. I find this funny, the secret tunnels of Sydney. It's not the secret, it just, all the people in civil engineering knew about them. It was just no one else cared. Yeah, sorry, go on, Matt.
Yeah, exactly. People don't care about that side of it, do they?
Yeah.
No. Before you play that, didn't Australia have a gold rush in the mid 1800s, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
There was like a massive population explosion. Huge.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, if I remember Serby right, I mean, I remember learning from school. I mean, didn't the population expand within something like about 15 years by about tenfold or something?
Yeah.
If I remember rightly. Yeah. Massive population within sort of 10, 15 years. All those people, some of them making actually some very big fortunes. So yeah, why wouldn't there be sort of massive expansion?
And we were actually feeding a lot of. That's why we rode on the sheep's back for a while. We were feeding a lot of that back to England. That was where the wool and meat came from. So yeah, I'm on the meat. So much the wool. Yeah.
Yes, you got people making their fortunes with gold. Some of them. So yeah, there's bound to be investment in the local economy, into local infrastructure, into local buildings, and all the rest of it. Yeah, why wouldn't there be? Absolutely. Over a period of another 150 years. Yeah.
It's still going on to some extent now, but it was a huge gold rush. And it is around about the time when you see all this development and building, because all of a sudden there was people and money. And this is what you tend to get.
That's what we saw in the Midwest in America. Same thing. Massive. These cities springing up and all the rest of it because all this massive amount of money coming into it. And of course, if people go over to find gold and stuff like that, they're not going to go on their own. They're going to take their families with them. Their kids start having children. Massive population explosion over sort of that period of time. Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah. He's trying to say that somehow it's just Great Sydney Fire, and it's not he thinks that the whole of Sydney burnt down now.
The secret tunnels that everybody knows about.
Yeah,
those ones.
Anyone who bothered to look. Yes, I think
it's like this.
It's this image he keeps playing. This one picture.
It's like the it's like the secret neutral buoyancy pool that everybody knows about from NASA. That one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's a big secret.
Yeah, it's a big secret, but everybody knows about it. You can go visit it, but it's a secret.
It's a secret. Well, talking about secrets, they're the answers for Paul's quiz. So let me just make sure he does. Oh, what's this button that says AI companion? Oh, I'll look at that later.
Oh, I like.
No, it's on the Zoom. It says AI companion.
Where's Mac?
42. Where's share screen? There we are. I'm trying to set up so Paul can share. Bit hesitant to push this AI companion button. Hey, Paul, you're ready to share with everyone.
Don't press buttons. Don't press buttons.
Not in the middle of
big red button.
Not in the middle of a thing. I'll have to play with it later, see what it does.
Don't press the button that's labelled "Do not press this button."
Yeah, of course, people are going to press it. Of course, they are.
Yes, Clive. Wasn't Topsy? Wasn't it Jumbo that they electrocuted? I think that's who he's referring to. No, you can't remember. Anyway, Paul, whenever you're ready.
Okay, let me get ready then. Here we go.
Buttons have been pressed.
I'll be right back in a minute.
With all your gabbing and talking, I even had time to put in this.
Well, I was trying to give you a bit of time.
No, sorry, but the middle ones, you've just got to remove those, Paul. Sorry. I need to unsee them. Or I need the eye bleach.
It's all, but they're not real.
I don't care if they're CGI. They don't. It's just not.
Oh, no, it's not CGI. It's a pet suit.
Can you spell implant?
Implant. Can I spell implant? I didn't think about it.
I think it's what most of them are. Mind you, that one bottom right, I think they're completely. Oh yeah, they are.
Move on. Whoop, we lost him.
Oh dear. You know that button that says "Please don't press this button."
Yeah, Paul pressed it.
You pressed it.
He went. They went too hard. Well, I push the AI button. See what happens. AI enable AI companion. Zoom will use AI tech in which it includes all third-party models to provide AI companion service. It invites able to ask questions about the meeting. to the AI companion, which will provide responses based on the meeting transcript. So there you go. Zoom does not use any audio, video, chat, screen attachments or other communication like blah, blah, blah. By clicking enable, this web feature will be set.
Am I back?
You are back.
Yeah, you are.
So you can still share again.
Okay. I seem to have dropped out there for some reason.
You did. You disappeared.
Okay. The internet's a bit dodgy. Am I still understandable?
Yes, we can hear you quite well.
Okay. I
Yeah,
reckon I
come
had
through
my
fine,
I had my microwave on cooking something, so I think the microwave must have interfered with the Wi-Fi signal a bit.
You've been nuked.
Yeah. Okay. So has anyone guessed what this is yet or not? No?
The clue? What are we guessing?
We can't see it.
Okay. You can't
got
see
it.
it. Oh,
You froze. You froze while Alan was complaining about the images that you originally pushed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we
Can
haven't
you
got
see
this
that?
far. We can see that
Yes.
now. Yes.
Okay. Shall I read it again? You didn't
Yes,
hear me read it, did
no,
you?
we didn't hear you read it. No.
Okay, so electricity bills in the Solomon Islands, the populations of towns, a tournament's tennis scores, the areas of rivers, baseball statistics, the molecular weights of compounds, and the street addresses of the first 342 people in the book American Men of Science were among the data sets used by its namesake to develop it. What is it?
Ooh.
Not sure.
Okay, I'll give you another
Electric
clue
bills
then.
okay.
Charlie Epps used it to solve a series of burglaries in numbers, while many state and national income tax agencies use it to detect fraud. What is it?
I think I'm going to have to go with Nerd Alert and say Benford's Law.
You would be correct, Alan Evans. Well done.
Well done. Straight up.
Do you know what Benford's Law is, Timbo?
No, I don't.
Oh, well.
You're going to have to look
find out then.
Going to have to look that one up. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Ted Hill was the first to give a satisfactory explanation of it in 1998, and its discovery supposedly began by noticing that some pages of a logarithm book were dirtier than others.
Like Haynes manuals.
Give this phenomenological law that states that the probability that a number begins with a digit d is given by the log to base 10 of 1 plus 1 over d, giving high probability to 1 and monotonically decreasing through 9. So if you take a set of data, Timbo, and you look at what the numbers start with, the starting digit, you'll find that a lot of numbers will start with 1, fewer numbers will start with 2, and even fewer numbers will start with 3, etc. Right. And it's all random. Like if a data set's truly random like that, that's what'll happen. So what they can do is they can analyze, like say the figures in a tax return or audit a financial group, and they can tell whether they've diddled the books, because when people make up numbers, they don't think of Benford's Law.
Right. Yeah, I'm just reading through that. I can see that. So it's basically a similar system to the node outliers, which they use. It's a bit more complex, but using for nodes to look for adjustments between it. But I see that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Matt Parker's done a couple of really good videos on Benford's Law.
Yeah, so if you're going to fiddle the books, you've got to do it in such a way that your fiddling follows Benford's Law. Hard to do.
Noted. Thank you.
Yeah.
Matt's looking at Benford's Law at the moment. Just. Okay. Just saying.
2.
Yeah, go on, Paul.
Question 2. Donald Knuth came to the conclusion in 1972 that he would never be able to find a minimal solution to a more difficult version of this problem after spending a solid week working on it pretty hard.
A week?
Yeah, a whole week.
Yeah, but it was Donald Knuth. Come on.
You should take me
No.
longer than that to design a boiler room. Can't give up after a week. Blimey.
The first formulation of this problem locates its genesis in Benares, India, and not in the location it is currently named for.
Hmm.
Tropical gap theory.
No, my chat
Something to do with
has-
algorithms, is it, or something? Because I know he's related to that.
I have to
Yeah,
refresh
yes.
my Timbo Turtle page because my chat has locked up, so
Well, yeah.
I can't see the Peanuts answers.
Okay, but at the moment, I don't think there's a sense. There's a Canap-Sap problem, is a guess from Nerdalert.
Peanut sack problem. No.
Careful now.
All right,
There's
I've
a
got it going again.
recipe for tea from
Not the recipe for tea or tropical gap theory. No, I'll give you another clue then.
in
Okay.
Coinsburg.
The parameters of the problem are ostensibly established by the fixed and immutable laws of Branner, although modern solutions generally do not employ diamond needles, brass plates, or priests.
It's like cryptology.
No.
Yeah.
With 3 pegs, this puzzle can be solved in 2 to the n-1 moves.
The Towers of Hanoi.
Yeah, I knew that clue would give it away.
I knew what it was, but I couldn't remember what they're called when you said it. But yes,
Yeah.
you got it. Yeah, I've done the.
And Nerd Alert got it out there, yeah. The Tower of Hanoi, yeah. Name this ubiquitous example of a problem solvable by a recursive algorithm, a puzzle where a stack of discs must be moved from one post to another. Yes, it is the Towers of Hanoi.
How come it took him a week? The first time I did it, you know.
No.
You made to come up with
it was another more difficult version of this.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was going to say, if it takes you a week to solve that puzzle,
this could be solved in less than a week easily. Yeah. All right. Question 3. This letter denotes a kind of Ioff-Pritchard trap with non-zero magnetic field at all points in the trap.
Okay, we're looking for a letter.
Looking for a letter.
We could start at A.
Trouble is, there might be more than 26 of them.
I was going to say, I could start at A and have 26 guesses.
Yeah.
Is it alpha, by any chance?
No, it's not alpha, no. The alloy specification language is somewhat derived from a set theory-based specification language developed by Jean-Raymond Abriel that is also denoted by this letter.
I think blue's hot micing. Oh, there you go. It's not now.
Sorry, I
That
said
would
that.
be a good trick since I was on mute.
No, I muted you, Blue. I muted you. You weren't
The
muted.
discrete equivalent of the Laplace transform is known by this letter, as is a high-energy left-handed form of the DNA double helix. Not R. Remember, Shadow Falcon, R has been debunked. Yeah.
I'm going to go with A or alpha, because that's always the first thing people pick.
Turing test 2, A, B, C. Well, you're going to take a while to get to it, Turing test. In chemistry, this letter denotes an alkene whose highest priority groups are on the same side of the double bond. And in math, this letter denotes the set of integers.
Oh, I should know that.
You should.
Oh,
yes.
I should know that. N? No.
No, it's not N.
No, it's not an
That's
N.
the set of natural numbers.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were beaten by Nerd Alert.
That got said. Yeah.
You have this letter that also denotes a score indicating the number of standard deviations away from the mean of a normal distribution, and a line separating adjacent sarcomeres. It is indeed, as Nerd Alert said, Z. And Clive got it too, and Turing test too. Well
Actually,
done.
I said Z. I actually said Z first. Actually,
Oh,
Did you? I thought you
I
said
put
it,
the whole.
mate.
I put the whole alphabet on, but it still says Z.
No, that's little Z. It's not little Z. It's big Z. So you were wrong.
Oh, okay, big Z. No, fair. I didn't do the capitals. My bad.
Capital Z.
Yeah.
Okay. Question 4. Appearing suddenly in the 1860s, it was first noted by R.P. Gregg in December of 1862.
According to Mogile, it was the St Mary's Chapel. St Mary's Cathedral. Just suddenly appeared. Keep going.
Though it began unimpressively, the number of objects per hour has increased nearly tenfold through the decades.
Appeared suddenly.
That
it's
sounds suspiciously like
a meteor shower of some sort. Oh,
Indeed,
yeah,
to be
that's
more
what I was about to
specific.
say.
yeah.
But which one?
I
Its
don't know.
origin remained a question until 1983, when NASA's infrared astronomical satellite discovered the asteroid 3200 Phaethon,
Yes,
which had a perfect orbital match to it.
Yeah, I don't remember the name
Not
of
the
the.
Perseids.
No, not Percy. No,
Not the
I would have said that.
Yeah.
No, it's the one that's just coming up with the
It
December
is
one.
the one that's just coming up, yeah. Known for its
Yes.
multicolored display, it is best viewed in the Northern Hemisphere beginning around December the 6th.
Oh, Geminid. I think.
It is
isn't it?
indeed.
Is it?
Thank
yes,
you, Matt.
got it.
You got it.
Oh, I had
It's
to
the
do a bit of
Geminids.
Googling, but I was there. Yeah.
Yeah. I try not to use Google. I try to do it properly.
Well,
Name this annual meteor
I was
shower.
halfway there.
Yeah, whose radiant is in the constellation containing the stars Castor and Pollux, which are, of course, the twins, Castor and Pollux, Gemini.
Yeah, no, I just remember seeing somebody did a video about it not so long ago, maybe a week or two ago, and he mentioned that it had been the objects per hour had increased, and that what kind of gave it away.
Yeah,
but I couldn't name it until I googled it.
Well, so nerd alert, that's why you got it wrong, is because you're using DuckDuckGo.
Okay, next one. Phipps and Taylor performed a critical test of this experiment in 1927 using hydrogen, and they confirmed its results. What test did they confirm?
In
1927. So it's relatively recent.
Obviously, the actual experiment was carried out earlier than that.
Oh, okay.
That's the one we want to know. What is it? What did they confirm?
Earth is a globe.
The sulfur in one of its namesake's cheap cigars accidentally turned the trace of this experiment's atom beam jet black, inspiring the use of a photographic development process.
Sounds like cathode ray tube or something like that.
No, it's not. No,
but that's
the
not
beam
what
was
we're
first
asking.
passed. The beam was first passed through a non-homogeneous magnetic field, resulting in the deflection of the atoms into two beams based upon the spin of an unpaired outer shell electron. Sleeping warriors, floating egg.
It's like making a comparison between something or other.
Name this 1920 experiment that demonstrated the spatial quantization of the spin moment of momentum of electrons by deflecting silver atoms through a magnetic field. You're all beaten by Clive Wells out in the chat anyway. Well done, Clive. It's the Stern-Gerlach experiment. Yeah.
I found that using Google, but I wasn't going to jump in. But yeah. Never heard of it before, so I wasn't going to jump in.
Okay, it's a it's a pretty famous experiment in quantum mechanics. Yeah,
I'm sure it is. Yeah. Just looking through it now. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, this one's an easy one. Who can get this one first? With particle, this word names the maximum distance from which particles could have travelled to an observer in the edge of the universe. In the age of the universe, sorry. No? Okay.
Well, yeah.
With new,
Okay.
with new, the plural of this word names NASA's unmanned robotic spacecraft mission to Pluto that was launched in 2006.
Oh, I should know this then.
New
I should know
Horizon?
this.
Yeah. Particle
Yeah.
Horizon? New
Yeah.
Horizon.
Horizon.
Yeah.
It is Horizon, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. The word is defined as the intersection of the celestial sphere with a plane perpendicular to the plumb line, and when paired with event, names the distance from a black hole with which nothing can escape.
Oh, what a film.
Yeah,
Horizon.
the
Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the particle is the particle horizon. Oh,
Yeah.
Event Horizon.
What is
Yeah.
this word that most commonly refers to the boundary between the sky and the ground? It is the horizon.
Oh, I thought it's
Yeah.
perspective. I thought it's perspective. Okay.
No.
No, it's
refraction.
fractal barotropic Sheldon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Refraction.
No, that's gravity.
Black Swan. Black Swan. What? What did I say?
Though this quantity is not related to rate constants, a lesser known equation for it is known as the Eyring equation. Oh. The better known Sabina equation for it assumes room temperature and that waves encounter boundaries one at a time. Not Half-Life, no. Cathedrals such as Notre Dame have a high value of around 8 seconds for it, while a value of around 2 seconds is desired for general purposes.
Oh. Obviously, it's sound. Doppler or echo. Resonance.
Reverberation.
Reverberation? No.
I
don't
need a
think
little
so.
bit more than just reverberation. It is defined as the time it takes for sounds to drop 60 decibels below its original level, which increases with reflective surfaces but decreases with absorbing surfaces. Come on, all you got to do is add one word to your answer.
Resonance. Not resonance. Reverberation.
Reverberation what?
Trying to think
Come
of something.
on,
It's got
name
reverberation
this
on it.
quantity which measures the amount of time it takes for echoes to disappear when sound is produced in an enclosed space, such as an auditorium or a concert hall. Yeah?
Oh, it's going to stick out once we hear it straight away. I can tell.
Come on.
Oh, come on. What's it called?
You accentuated the word time.
I
for some
did.
reason,
So it's going with time.
Reverberation is the phenomenon. What's the thing we're measuring?
I've just never heard of time reverberation or reverberation time. Come on, it's got to have another word.
Reverberation time, is it? Yes, Timbo. Well done.
There you go.
Yeah.
Reverberation
time.
Yeah. I'm with you. I see why you're after that answer, but it was just such.
Yeah. Question 8. The term sausage machine was used by Imre Lakatos to describe an ideal solution to this problem. What problem?
I've heard this term before.
Well, the sausage machine refers to anything where it's continual work, repetitive continual work. But I don't think that helps me much just at the moment.
Thomas Kuhn proposed different solutions to this problem in normal or extraordinary circumstances.
What are you saying?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Nah.
The Vienna Circle stressed the verificationist solution to this problem, which focused on the role of empirical observation. Karl Popper, this should give it away. Karl Popper argued that the solution to this problem requires contrasting induction and deduction, only the latter of which is falsifiable.
Scientific process. But
yeah. What problem is it, though?
Well, it's a mathematical problem.
No.
But I don't know what problem, isn't it? Isn't it? Oh,
nope.
okay.
No, I don't think
Name
so.
this problem from philosophy of science, which deals with how to draw the line between science and non-science.
Don't know then.
You're not asking for the scientific method there, are you, Paul?
No, I'm not.
No, it's
for the
not.
scientific method.
I said that,
but
pretty much.
But I note that Clive Wells gave the answer some time ago. I was just seeing if anybody else could get to the answer.
Is that what it's called? No, I've never
Well
heard of
done,
it.
Clive. It is called the demarcation problem. Yeah. How do you demarcate between what's science and what's pseudoscience?
Yeah. He spelled it by Clive spelled it the same way I do.
Yeah. Okay. Lemaire applied this concept to ionospheric plasmas in a paper describing the formation of the plasmapores. Plasma. Better be careful. We'll have Mr. Grimm over here.
Yeah. The plasma pores. Yeah.
No. Okay. Agarwal and Oberbeck generalized this concept to a solid body, and Rawal used it as the basis for his derivation of Bode's law.
I don't remember what bloody Bode's law is now. and I know I've heard of it. I remember doing Bode plots.
Okay. This concept, sometimes named after Jacobi, can be derived using a Taylor expansion of gravity about a spherical object and finding the locus of points where the self-gravity is equal to the simplified Taylor expansion for tidal forces. No. Its French namesake originally postulated it while attempting to explain the origin of Saturn's rings.
The Lagrange point?
No, not Lagrange point.
No.
Name this limit.
Roche.
Approximately 2.44 times the radius of a large object, within which any body held together only by its self-gravity will be torn apart by tidal forces.
Roche?
The Roche limit?
That's the one. It's the Roche limit. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the few limits I know.
Yeah, so if you've got something being held by its own gravity loosely, like not actually bonded together, but just being held together by its gravity, then when you're within the Roche limit of another planet, the tidal forces on that body will actually overwhelm the self-gravitational forces and it'll fall to bits.
Yeah. Okay.
The Roche limit, yeah. And your last question is an easy one. While working on the creation of this device, one of the creators wrote a paper proposing the development of magnetic memory.
While they're working the device.
Which device?
Working on the creation of the device itself.
No, this is before magnetic memory. So
while working on the creation of the device, one of the creators wrote a paper proposing the development of magnetic memory.
Yeah. This device's memory was stored in ring counters, which employed flip-flops to store the digits 0 through 9.
Would that be Colossus?
Not Colossus, no.
Probably was working on the creation of it while he thought of it, maybe.
Yeah. That's what they're saying. So it's not it's not something like floppy disks or hard disks or anything. So it's whatever he was building while they were doing that.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Modifications suggested by John von Neumann allowed it to operate with a stored program.
What was the
Marzio pickups? No. It was developed by J. Presper Eckert and John Morchley under contract from the U.S. Army at the University of Pennsylvania, and most of its operating life was spent calculating ballistic tables at the Aberdeen Proving Grounds in Maryland. What was it?
That would be an IAC then.
Yeah, that's right.
I think somebody already got that.
But you were beaten by Clive again.
I know I was beaten by Clive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Identify this first general purpose electronic digital computer. It was ENIAC. Yeah.
Of course, the thing was, because Colossus remained so secret for so long, it tends to get left out of the development of computing history a lot, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. There you go. And that was your quiz.
Thanks for that, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Well done.
Thanks, that was good.
Not too hard a one, I hope.
Yeah, it was, but it's
Well, I
still
knew
fun.
one of them.
It's always fun.
Same.
I find it fun, but
Quite surprised myself.
I always find it fun. But
Yeah, but let's be honest, most of that is well outside both my interest groups and skill sets. So,
yeah, same.
Well, that's about a chat. When you do a lot of quizzes that you guess, you can work it out. It's good to have something that you're completely lost on. Well, I find it good, and you have to challenge yourself a bit. Okay, what are we going to do now? We can have a Everett. Well, I think about what we're going to do now. Let's play this last one. I'll just pull it up. There we go. Yeah, I haven't seen this one.
Last night I was yelling on Discord so loud. The security guard came up and he's like, "Yo, can you keep it down?" I'm like, "Sorry, I'm just on the phone." That was funny. But
oh god, yeah.
So
Hilarious.
a lot of people, dude. A lot of people talking about what happened this week. I just wanted to go live and answer any questions you guys have or whatever, dude. Jaron was sticking up for you, dude, just to let you know. Dude, he's crying about how I got pranked the whole time. He wasn't even there. He doesn't know for sure. He was saying stupid shit like Nathan didn't even see the test. So, it's whatever, dude, Yeah, he's got to coddle his sheep, Either they lied to me or they didn't. And either way, it's funny as hell, in my opinion. They have nothing. They have nothing. The Globers have nothing. They're so boring and redundant. So either people figured out it's flat, which happens all the time, or they lied to me, which happens all the time. You ever had a girlfriend? I checked. Harvard confirmed those guys were legit. Really? Mahatma, you said you checked. Harvard confirmed they're legit. Can you please email me that data or anything? I would love to see that. Because, either Jeb lied to me and paid thousands of dollars for all this stuff, and those guys didn't go to Harvard, or they actually did. I think they did. Those guys were very intelligent. Nerdy, very freaking, not actor, prankster, YouTube, stupid trolls. Like nerdy smart.
Did you know I either got 2 Harvard students to the flat Earth community, or I got trolled super freaking hard by everyone this entire weekend?
Yep, you got trolled.
Mm.
And right now I'm 50-50. I don't know. Everyone's super convinced that I got trolled. Super convinced.
Because you did.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Of course, I hope I wasn't, but
He knows he was trolled. He's just trying to save face, isn't he?
allegedly debunked their own model, went around Venice Boulevard telling everyone Earth's flat, and reunited with his flat Earth girlfriend. Like, how'd you get trolled? Okay, well, the Jeb Carty, the CEO of Zumbly, FaceTimed me and said, hey, I want you to come talk to some Harvard students. They think the Earth is round. They kept saying round. And I said, sure, no problem. I'll come out and talk to them. I show up, and they're like, oh, we're doing a test. We're going to build a magnet. Guinness World Records coming. I knew I was going to start crying. I thought about wearing my sunglasses. I'm not super worried about anything. Like, nothing. I'm not. I'm just... And here's what's crazy.
So why are you
I'll show
crying?
I want to show you guys the email. So they sent me the itinerary for Thursday when they did the magnet test, right? Kyle. So, Flat Earth episode, day 1 schedule. Nathan, please be ready in the lobby. Your driver's name is Mino. Here's his phone number. If you brought any Flat Earth clothing, please wear it. And then it says, what's it say right there, guys? 12 o'clock, camera ready in Malibu. 12 to 3 p.m. Ben and Blake present evidence for a round Earth. That never happened. So from day 1, the first hour of filming, everything I was planning on happening didn't happen. I'd much rather be on the floor with Geo or on my hoverboard or on my skateboard. Man, I miss freaking Geo, dude. Especially with everything going on right now, I just wish I could hang out with my dog. Geo knows I'm not a shill.
For some time ago,
Stuff like this, why people quit Flat Earth, dude. You know?
Yeah.
That's why people quit.
Poor Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sad.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that world's smallest violin? Can you hear that? No.
That one.
That one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's the one.
Oh dear. Cry me a river, Nathan.
Yes.
Go on, Alan.
Paul's trying to run down
And
his
it's the
ducks
one
with
so
his.
small that it's above even the range of most dogs.
Is Paul trying to run down his
That's the one.
ducks with the lawnmower? Is he going crazy?
He's trying to shred them again. Blimey.
Trying to run them down with the lawnmower. I don't know.
Yeah, duck murderer.
Yes, I think it's sort of like for someone claiming so smart that was quite clearly, you know.
He was trolled hard, and he knows he was trolled. That's why he's getting upset. Really, that's the bottom line of it. He got trolled, and he's ruined his reputation. Oh dear. dear me, I'm so sad about that.
I can tell in your voice you're really cut up.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's affecting you greatly.
Can you? The tears.
Would you like another Everett? Since I've got it up on the screen. Click on this one. The ice wall revealed. There you go.
No, really.
Congratulations, India. You officially become the 4th biggest liar in history.
Fry, where's your brain slug?
Poor little guy starved to death.
I have a couple of questions for you. Who is in the moon filming the spacecraft landing?
Oh, God.
There are only two possibilities. One is you've been bitten, or you die in horrible agony at any moment. Damn it. It's not the tick.
Somebody needs to slap him for that.
Tick. It's something worse than the tick.
Also, what the hell is that surface?
You're all nuts.
Nuts!
Oh, God.
Remember what I said about offending the locals?
Did he just call us loco?
No, I said locals.
No, I think you were right the first time.
There is another photo made from the spacecraft, and I want to ask you, where is the bloody stars?
Oh, God.
Why is so dark in space?
Yep.
This ass Steve is going to hell. This is slowly turning into Don't Ask Steve Nothing Else.
The earth is flat, and you can easily see that there is no curvature.
89 bottles of beer. If one of those bottles should happen to fall. 10 bottles of beer on the
When we zoom in, we can easily see beyond the horizon, and we can see as far as the devices we use allow us.
Nobody's 100%, Alice.
You are. You've been wrong every time.
For South America, the sun is on the right side of the sky, and for North America, the sun is on the left.
What?
What? Are you okay, Mr. Science?
I'm upset.
Come back. No.
Today I want to show you that Google Globe is fake.
Peg, the neighbors are laughing at me.
And everyone at school too, Dad.
Google Globe is
Let's
fake.
see,
Really?
Antarctica now. What? And what's that? What's that curvature?
Thank you very much for your call. Have a good life. What a strange man.
Oh, I have the answer. Maybe on the real one, on the real map, right here.
Now do it on the North Pole as well on the Google Globe. It's
somebody's
just same
living in the
result,
land of
exactly the same. Limitations of the
When
app.
you
That's all it
lie,
is.
it makes me mad. When you fib, I just can't be glad.
So guys, once you start seeing, once your eyes are open, the evidence is everywhere. You can see evidence everywhere around you.
Am I driving okay?
I think we're parked, man.
But you have to wake up. You have to open your eyes and see the truth. Then you can see. Then you can really see.
You know what this is? Yeah, and I reserve this word for those rare instances when it's truly deserved. This is malarkey.
He was in Band of Brothers.
Yes.
Malarkey, yeah.
Definitely.
Stars. Stars.
Yes. It didn't fill me with confidence. Yeah, there we go.
I think Brian
Google
Mabbitt was
Globe,
doing the
right.
same thing, wasn't he, with Google Earth? He tried the same thing, and when you highlight that area in the South Pole, the Antarctica, it does the same thing on the North Pole of the Google Globe as well.
That's when you're
And
trying
you
to
say,
create
look,
area.
must be fake, must be fake. Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't prove a thing. But, you know, they're always going to grab anything they see. I'll tell you all sorts of stuff. What else have we got? What can we finish off with? What would you... I've got a... oh, no, I don't. I was going to say I've got, but I don't. I think we did. Mr.
Oh,
42.
NASA successfully tested a laser communication system from the Psyche probe, which is about 20 million miles away from Earth. Apparently, it worked pretty well. Yeah. So that enables high bandwidth communication, whereas the present system at the moment is kind of limited in terms of bandwidth. Works very well, but
yeah.
So that's going to enable things like, I don't know, maybe live television pictures while they're doing telemetry and while they're doing voice communications all at the same time in the future. Who knows?
I found a website called This Person
Random
Does Not
face
Exist.
generator. Yeah. Oh, that'll be fun.
And it was like, okay, this is great use of AI technology. Let's just generate non-existent people. So
this person doesn't. All right. Okay. Interesting.
So none of these images are real. So let's pick a 50-year-old plus. That's what a 50-year-old person looks like. There you go.
You ought to do this with Pete Shea. Find some that look like famous people and say, "Look, you think they're cloned?" You know, he's into his cloning people, wouldn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. And they go, "Oh yeah, look, there's a clone. There's a clone." Pete, that person doesn't exist.
I had this list of things when I was having trouble trying to find stuff for us to get. What's this one? I can't remember what this one is. Ah, here you go. Can I have this magnet, please? All these magnets?
Right.
Yeah, let's turn the sound down for a sec. Let's speed it up.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Very strong magnets.
Oh, yeah. I like that he has to keep using his little wedge because otherwise
Yeah.
he'll be stuck.
Can't position it otherwise. Fun.
How to make your own railgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is pretty much. That's what he's doing.
It's good fun.
I like how in the ball he gets the wedge to get the ball off. Let's get
even bigger ball now. Look. Boom.
Need a bigger ball.
Even bigger. Even bigger. Boom. Not quite. Nearly there. Oh, get it back.
There we go.
Oh, that looks like fun. That does look like
I
fun.
don't know what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good fun.
Good fun.
Magnets are always fun, except for when they're powerful enough to crush your hand.
That one would be.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's why he had the
Yeah.
gloves on and he was using the wedges to put them down. Yes. Ooh, what's this one? I haven't seen this one here.
Oh, hello. Oh, a bit of levitation.
How much money has this guy got?
He's got some dry ice as well, has he?
He obviously has his own specialised magnet separator.
Dry ice.
Because everyone has. I don't know. I think it's dry. I think it's liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, everybody's got a bit of dry ice in their.
That's liquid nitrogen, not dry ice.
Okay, so liquid nitrogen then. Sorry, my bad.
Flux detectors. I think this would be fun. But I can imagine just what he's got these can't be cheap.
No.
No, what is he going to do?
I suspect not. He's trying hard pulling them apart. That's why he uses that to get them off. More levitation.
Well, it doesn't move much now. But it still hovers.
Ta-da.
I wouldn't be putting my fingers near the liquid nitrogen, but okay. Yeah. Do you get to play with those, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun. Let me tell you this. I do have. This is my world. Hang on. You guys can all comment.
When those first high temperature superconductors, well, relatively high temperature compared to the ones you used to have, when they were first discovered, those ceramic superconductors, of course, every physics department in every university set out to make some, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course they were good fun.
Yeah.
It's obviously the where we're going to go. So, okay. Here we go.
What do Sweden, Italy, Israel, and Germany have in common?
Let me just slow it. Yeah, that's a little. Turn up a little bit too. These are all road checks stuff I have to assess.
These countries are testing smart roads from the company Electrion that can charge electric cars on the go. As part of the tests, Electrion successfully charged an 8.5 kilowatt passenger car and a passenger bus. The charging works using DWTP technology. Cables and inductance coils are installed under the asphalt, while vehicles are equipped with receivers. The efficiency of these smart roads was estimated at 91%, and during tests, the Electrion team successfully drove a Toyota RAV4 hybrid on an oval track for more than 100 hours. In the end, it travelled about 1,924 kilometres using only electric power.
Only within the same track, though.
Zebra is a simpler-looking development, but thanks to it, bicycle lanes can be designated neatly and quickly. Zebra
Now, do you have this in Britain? Because we wouldn't be allowed to use these here.
blocks are made of recycled plastic, so they're 40% lighter than many similar products. With 4 mounting points, the blocks can be easily and securely attached to any hard surface. And Zebra's covering is striped for a reason. 40% of each block is covered with reflective inserts. As you know, China has a pretty big problem with dust and smog. For example,
this has been suggested before, but there's one problem with these dust removal systems. I'll see if you can work out what the problem is.
In March this year, PM 2.5 particle concentration in Beijing suburbs surpassed the norm by over 9 times. Local companies are trying to address this and offer this road dust removal system as a solution. Water from the system is sprayed at high pressure from a height of at least 2 meters. This produces a mist that traps the dust.
Yeah, and then we'll
We worked out the issue.
what's stop you breathing that shit in?
Well, not only breathing in. Where does the dust go?
In everywhere.
Yeah, well, it just gets trapped and goes back to the ground. Evaporates, and then the cars drive over and the dust comes up again. So ultimately, it's not really doing anything. You actually have to remove the dust, not just suppress it. So
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
moving it about, isn't it?
yeah,
Let's turn the dust into mud.
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, and just the amount of water they're using. So it sounds good, but when the actual practicality, it's not really achieving anything.
South Korea
And
is
which
also
would you rather drive to? A little bit of dust or all that water spray?
using water
Well,
to make
this one's worse.
life easier for drivers. The smart IoT system is installed without any excavation on the roadway and allows not only to effectively reduce dust, but also to lower the road temperature. IoT algorithms take many parameters into account.
And covers the road in water. It increases the danger on the road.
Including CO2 levels. Thanks to this, the system is only switched on when necessary, and it automatically selects the optimal water consumption option. You can control the IoT and give commands via the app. All system data is stored in a dedicated database for potential.
Yeah, the way we're handling this is by putting trees cover over the top of the roads. It's the common way. Trying to cool the roads down. Not spraying it with water.
Audits. Bomag, known for its rollers, brings an interesting upgrade, the Shell Kit. This enhancement is tailor-made for their rollers, converting them into soil compactors. With straightforward manipulations, the smooth rollers become a toothy tool, making it a versatile dual-purpose machine.
Toothy tool. See this one in the middle? I've yet to see one of these, but the idea is that so it works similar to the idea of the tooth roller. The tooth roller obviously puts more impact into one area and supposedly compresses it better. And they use them a fair bit, but this one in the middle I've yet to see. It's a weird little beastie. That one. So similar idea, but big flat planes. So you don't end up with the ruts. So when you're compacting a road, the trucks can drive over it without vibrating the driver to do it.
Thanks to the Raptor system, even a pickup truck can be used for installing speed bumps, as it can be mounted on a special hitch if required. The working process resembles a claw machine. The operator works with a joystick, guided by the image from the cameras. With some skill, it is possible to install 3 speed bumps in 2.5 minutes. As with the cones, the Raptor easily switches from installing to removing. A standard 3.4 meter wide speed bump can support about 36 tons of load.
What that thing can do, 2 operators behind can do the same thing, and they don't have to have the very expensive kit to do it.
Permafix L273 is a groundbreaking solution for asphalt repair, at least according to its developers. It's easy to use. Workers just need to mix the components and fill asphalt potholes with the resulting mass. There's no need for heating, road rollers, or anything like that. The finished mass hardens in just half an hour. It can be used almost anywhere. For example, one review mentions the successful repair of a bustling city intersection where drivers pass at around 64 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
We could do several thousand tons of that over it.
Yeah.
Among the exhibits at Trafex 22, an
As our
event
roads
dedicated to road technology and
disintegrate.
safety, visitors could see these rather interesting delineators. They're made of Reflexipol, a flexible polymer, so they can be easily bent in case of collision. Tests have shown that the posts are quite safe, even at speeds of 100 kilometers per hour. In addition, they can easily withstand 100 bends. It's an ideal solution for temporary markings, as well as for separating pedestrian and bicycle paths. The delineators are available in several colors and 6 stripe patterns. They're
Yeah, do you know why I wouldn't use them? Can you see the problem? Once you find out that they're flexible like that, what are you going to do? every time you go past one.
Just go keep driving over them.
Yeah. So they become useless.
Until you find one that's not flexible.
Well, that's
there is
that's
that.
Yeah.
Because,
well, that's
somebody's cut the top off and dropped a steel bar down it.
yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do when we did first put in flexible barriers. Every fifth one we'd put in a firm one, so they'd go clunk, 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 and then pound. But no, it sort of defeats the purpose. You may as well have barriers that actually do the job.
Compact square bases require minimal space and are easy to install.
Well, unless you make them so that they are flexible like that, but if you went over them, say, any more than, say, 35 miles an hour, that it wouldn't destroy your car, but it would certainly do some damage to it. Do you know what I mean? That would still, people would still learn that not to drive over them.
Yeah, no, people are silly. Particularly hoons, they don't care. Someone in a four-wheel drive with a bull bar on the front, it's not going to affect them at all. It's more a case of the reason why I use these bollards is to stop people driving into them. And
oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I realize
so
that, but
you're not really achieving it in the end once people know that they're flexible. So I think they put them in on the idea that it stops people damaging them, but when they're there, usually for a good reason, it effectively doesn't achieve its end result. But we get quite a few of this one.
The team that created Scorpion 2 is also trying to improve safety on the road. This
This is
system is
actually
mounted on
safe.
trucks, like those used by utility service providers, and can significantly reduce the damage caused by accidents. When a fast-approaching driver rear-ends the truck, Scorpion 2 guides their vehicle sideways.
This is actually a requirement. I was quite surprised to see this video because these have been around for a while, and in certain conditions, it's actually required to have one of these, or something similar. At the
Australia maybe, but not in the UK, I don't think.
Well, no, the idea is that these are for when they're doing construction, right? That you have one of these vehicles at the start of the construction on the basis that you've got workers on the other side, and this stops the workers getting wiped out. But it gives some protection to a vehicle that might not see the big flashing lights that they usually have. They run into it. So crash attenuators is what they're called, but these are called temporary crash attenuators.
Thanks to a core of multiple honeycombs, it absorbs some of the impact energy. The system is claimed to be effective at speeds up to 80 kilometers per hour. At only 2.4 meters long, Scorpion 2 is the shortest model
they're
of the market.
fine as long as you hit them
Plus, the
straight
system
on.
can even be placed on a Ford F550.
A few incidences where people have clipped them and they're still at the back of the trailer, but still saved the
A-Safe company
workers.
proudly claims it doesn't
I've never seen them in the UK ever.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it suits me.
on quality. It offers these polymer barriers that are, in many ways, tougher than steel ones. A-Safe barriers can easily withstand an impact from a 5-ton vehicle at 10 kilometers per hour. But while an impact against a steel barrier would most likely result in damage, in this case, the vehicle will bounce off the A-Safe barrier. One of the secrets is the unique Memoplex material. Not only does it have a memory effect, but it can also withstand freezing temperatures as low as minus 30 degrees Celsius without any problems. And if A-Safe does get wrecked, replacing the damaged elements is much easier than with a steel barrier.
Oh, I think it's about the same myself, but anyway.
I know, it's kind of more modular, isn't it? You just
Ordinary
click
robots
those other
can become
parts and then
safer
put
too.
another one in.
For example, these
I had a
barriers are
chance
already
to
used
try
in
and install
14
one of
countries.
these, and they wouldn't
They're
let me
called
put it
rolling
in.
barriers and are fitted with polymer rollers. Thanks to reflective strips, they're perfectly visible in headlight illumination, even on unlit roads at night. Rolling barriers are successful in both European and American crash tests. EN 1317
they haven't actually got any. I've
and
read
thanks
through
to
the
their
whole
modular design,
research and
they can be repaired much easier than conventional ones.
gosh, they wouldn't let me put it in. That's good. Costs mostly. I was on a
More
very
than 113 million Europeans are affected by road noise every day. And scientists have found that continuous noise louder than 40 decibels has a negative impact on health. Silent
Yes, it
view
does.
barriers are one of the solutions to this problem. These consist of sheets installed at an angle of 30 degrees that reflect sound waves directly onto the noise-absorbing elements. These screens can effectively reduce up to 35
they use
decibels
that
in
in
road
some
noise,
airports.
making them
in
suitable
Europe.
for areas near road.
yeah.
Similar
No,
sort of
that
thing.
is
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is actually quite a nice product, but not cheap.
Chicago attracts tens of millions of tourists annually. Fortunately, there are plenty of landmarks like the Millennium Park, spanning over 99,000 square meters. It comes as no surprise that local authorities want their city to shine, literally. So they contracted Amoresco to install smart street lighting. With over 200,000 new streetlights, the city not only looks better, but is also more cost-effective. Street lighting tends to be the biggest energy consumer in many
that's
cities,
going to be a super
making
weapon
smart
for Mark
LED
Steele.
streetlights more crucial.
Mark
than
Steele's
ever.
super weapon. You be all over that one. Yeah.
Also, don't you think
Now
they
let's go
could
from the
be
US to China,
kind
where crossings are being
and make those LEDs monochromatic in this at pretty much the same wavelength as the sodium lights that we already had, just so it doesn't completely bugger up the astronomers?
They could do it being just a little dimmer than they are, because I've got a street light right outside my bloody house. I don't need a light over my front door at night.
Oh, there you
go. That's fucking bright. You almost read a bloody book in it indoors.
We've had to put in on occasion the panels behind the streetlight so it doesn't shine into people's properties and windows. But haven't had to do that for a while.
No, it just lights up everywhere.
Yeah. LED lights have been around for a while, so this wasn't really news to me.
being improved with the Illumin system.
Oh,
The
this one's
system warns
interesting.
everyone at once. Pedestrians take their eyes off their smartphones and cross properly thanks to an audible alert. Meanwhile, Illumin signals drivers by illuminating crosswalks and road signs. At night, these signals are easily visible even from a distance of 400 meters. Moreover, these systems can link to the cloud, serving as an efficient tool for traffic monitoring and control. This drainage system works like magic. At least that's the impression left by its description. Not only does it work faster than any other drainage system, it's also twice as fast to install. In particular, there's no need to dig wide trenches. In addition, the manufacturing company offers specialist software to design
not in
drainage
life, but I've
systems
seen it
based
on a
on many
video or
factors,
something
such as
somewhere,
weather
I
and
think.
soil. And the safety
I've seen
margin
it
of the
in real
drainage
life.
system is so high that it's recommended even for railroads.
It's not bad. It's a little bit more expensive than the standard
If there is a
subsoil
lot of
drains.
snow but a shortage of shovelers,
Oh, yeah,
why
yeah.
not improve
This
roads
was not
and
an issue we
sidewalks?
have in Australia.
The systems from Warmly Yours will effectively melt not only snow but also ice. They can be installed not only on concrete and asphalt, but also on paving
Yeah.
stones. Depending on the
That'd be
specific
expensive.
conditions, Warmly Yours offers mats or cables. The cost per
Heated-
square meter
heated,
ranges from $99 to $111.
roadways. No.
The control program takes temperature and humidity into account, and the heating can be monitored via Wi-Fi if needed.
Yeah, I can't ever see my council ever installing them.
Do you think these workers are tucking the road in at
They
night?
gotta
with a
maintain their
blanket?
own roads at the
Actually,
moment,
they're
as it
busy
is.
laying
It's based
geotextile.
Actually, it's funny that I actually had to sit in with this. I've saw this video before by the actual guys trying to sell it to us. So they
Thanks
use
to it, moisture
they use
will
it
not
quite
seep
often.
into the structural layers of the road,
so
and
make-
as a result, the road will last up to twice as long.
It does
This
improve.
particular type of
the
geotextile will
performance
increase
of
costs by a
pavement
maximum of 30%.
dramatically,
If
but
necessary,
you've got to add the
geotextiles can
cost
also be
in.
used on concrete roads.
And it's about 25-30% dearer to put this stuff
Installing
in.
traffic cones is not the safest thing to do, especially on a high-speed highway. Markway is a way to keep workers safe and speed up the process. This system can be
Oh, I've
installed
actually
in
seen that
ordinary
working.
vans in just an hour.
Yeah.
It allows cones
Well,
from 50 to
something
120
similar
centimeters
anyway.
in height.
Yeah.
The distance between them is
in the UK
automatically
somewhere.
adjusted. All necessary parameters are displayed on a touchscreen that can be placed inside the cabin. The cones can be installed at speeds of up to 30 kilometers per hour, and when the work is finished, the system helps to remove them.
But don't you get the same from just having people drop them off the back of the truck like they do already?
They do. The safety is the way they usually do it is they often have a little outrigger and the person sits in it and just plonks them down. It's that a car can come along and wipe them out on the side, and that's why they have these as a way, supposedly.
Yeah, they do have some of them in the UK. I've seen at least one working actually on the side of a dual carriageway, doing the same sort of thing. So, oh, what's that? Yeah, and there was a guy inside, right enough.
Yeah. No, well, there's still a guy inside, so it doesn't save on, but it does because there's still someone loading their things in.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's inside the vehicle, not outside of it.
Not
is he? That's the
outside, so
whole
it's much
point of it.
safer for him, yeah, or her, as the case may depend.
All that.
There you go. So that's some of the things going on in the future. Do you know the line? You've heard of the line? We're not going to play a video on it, but apparently that's progressing quite well. I've been quite surprised what I hear from that they're actually still going. So you may actually have a city, big line with the multi-story buildings of a city. So to see, interesting if that ever gets completely finished. Yes, Teslas. Well, yeah, I was going to finish off with a Creaky, if I could find my link to him. Well, so what's that?
Creaky.
Yeah, I was going to say, Matt, what's coming up in Space World? Anything
Not a whole lot, really. Obviously, the third test of Starlink. What am I talking about? SpaceX
BFR.
Starship. Sorry, no, it's not BFR. It's not called BFR. I've been called BFR for a long time. No,
best name for it. It's
I
most
agree.
accurate as well.
Yeah, big fucking rocket.
Big fucking rocket.
Yeah, Starship. So apart from that, not a whole lot really.
Well, yeah, but the flat Earthers are saying how it hit the Earth and it blew up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Of course they are.
Again.
Because they're idiots.
Because they've got images of it blowing up.
I mean, the second test it solved everything that happened in the first test. So to me, yeah, that's a successful test. The first test, all they wanted it for it to do was to clear the tower. That was it. It did that.
Yeah.
But people are still getting hyped up about it. Oh, it's not a successful test because it blew up.
Well,
blah 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 blah.
No, it didn't make it to the moon, so therefore it mustn't be successful.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, well, I mean, it made it to space. It got well past
space,
the Kármán,
yeah.
150 kilometers before
Yeah.
Something happened. So yeah, but I think by all accounts, what happened to the booster was during its flip maneuver, it somehow ruined the engines because it kind of lost control. Because you see, some of the engines actually went out just as it started up its boost back burn.
Yeah,
it lost a whole load of engines. Yeah, and you could see actually some of them actually blowing up during when it was trying to start up and things like that. So yeah. And as far as the Starship itself, nobody's really sure, but apparently it was a automatic flight termination system. Kicked it in. So, but don't know. But they think it was probably more related to perhaps there wasn't enough Delta V. It didn't kind of get to the orbit it wanted, so it was going to basically its trajectory was going to go in somewhere where it wasn't going to be safe. So probably the flight termination system kicked in. And blew it up.
That's going to do.
Other than that, not a whole lot more details, really.
No. I was going to play some cricket, but I just realised it's bedtime.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know if you heard my alarm.
Not for me, it's not.
Just
I wish
turned
it was.
midnight.
I could go back to bed. Couple of hours.
Just turned midnight.
You can go back to bed if you want. Nobody's stopping you.
Well, there is. I've got things to do.
I can wait. It's always tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Spent that day taping up so we can do painting.
See, one of the joys of not being a child is remember, oh no, not bedtime yet. Can I stay up a bit longer? Now it's like, fuck it, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Bollocks you all. You wait till tomorrow. I'm off. Yeah.
Well, so we might say goodnight to the Peanuts and call it.
Night, Peanuts.
Yes. Good night, Peanuts.
All right,
Peanuts.
See you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.